For this to pop up. Should have about a 12-second delay, same as last time, but that's absolutely fine because I should still be here pretty early. So come on YouTube, update me, let me see what's happening. Don't just show me the countdown, it's begun. Hey, there we go. Hello, hello, ladies, gentlemen, and the void as always, as well as me of the future. Today I will be running through all of the X and CM stages and chatting if people want to talk. Technically speaking, this could be an endurance stream, but I am quite a boomer, so I don't expect this to take very long. That being said, I'm also not planning to stop until I've beaten all of the stages. I've got a decent chunk of sanity built up, and naturally I've got a few sanity pots because you cannot get through all of them in just one go. So welcome VOD gang. If you're new here, I do have a stream Discord pinned in the top comment and in the top of the description if you want to get notified when I'm going live. That being said, I think I'll kick it off by first off, checking to make sure there's no specific tasks or medals I have to do. X3 looks like I gotta break 2 bottles, easy. That should be absolutely free. That's just play the stage normally from my experience. Likewise that, and X8 break 5. Wonderful, now quick check of any medals. Looks like nothing major. Sweet. That has not unlocked yet, that's not the X stages, so nothing at all to worry about. Hello, hello, Muffin with Nothing, love the username. As this title suggests, I will be going through all of the X and CM stages. I'm a boomer, so this won't take long. That being said, if I do just completely fail, I'm not ending stream until I'm done. But I don't expect that'll be the case. Hello, Milo Floppy, nice to see you, man. Or lady. I use man in a gender-neutral way, but I know that doesn't always come across in the internet. So starting us off nice and easy, naturally gotta bring your vanguards. You know, I am feeling Kibai. She's pretty fun this event. Eku, Archetto. I'm going in absolutely blind, I have no idea what's waiting for me. But that being said, I'll just use my go-to operators and it should be relatively simple, at least for X1. I'll mix things up a bit once we get to other matches. Other stages. That being said, if you do need help with a specific stage for whatever reason, let me know. Always happy to workshop for you. Probably need another guard, there's usually a second lane. I could go yeah, you know what? Guard Scardy. It's been ages since I've used it. I've got probably one more medic, probably Silence just in case. Silence always a very strong go-to, that is not medics. There we go. And then for last, what do I want? Honestly, probably a specialist. Now, a lot of people use Tex Alta, but this guy got the drip, so I'm going to use him.
What do you
Not
need?
quite as much of my favor as Red, but got to get some use into him. Looking forward to the outstanding strategizing. You mean the brute force of me having mostly maxed out units? Yeah, let's call that strategy. I like the sound of that. Can you bring Elysium? I will in future. I'll replace Myrtle with him.
Bring your site plans, everyone.
Started slightly
Watch
late
out
on this
for
one. Apologies for that.
accident-prone areas.
Oh, always lovely to start off by your sponsors.
My hammer's not so weak.
Oh, after this stage I might need to switch mouses. This
Let's
one is a
begin.
wireless one and it just has a little bit
Awaiting
of lag.
orders.
But absolutely won't matter here. Yep, definitely the right call to bring just a couple lane holders, just in case. Because as it turns out, this is a 3-lane. But easy enough. And because we can deploy range operators, I'm going to drop Arknights there. Okay, yep, set it to 2 times speed. X1 is usually relatively free, so I'm not expecting any major difficulties here. That being said, still worth taking it seriously. Oh, low deploy count, yeah, this will be pretty brain off, hopefully. So yeah, how's everyone's days doing? I'm finally well enough that I was able to go back to the gym. That was wonderful fun. But I wasn't able to do too much, only burned about 600 calories, which is a bit light for me. That being said, it was still an absolute blast, and it's great to no longer be sick. Hopefully you've all been accomplishing some stuff and having some fun as well. And honestly, this event's been pretty fun so far. I was really surprised. When I saw the event in CN, I wasn't expecting to enjoy it too much. The enemies look a bit weird. That might change as we go here. I've heard a lot of people talking about how hard the X and CM stages, but obviously I'll find that out as we go. You're so envious to pick the high-end operators. Multi-stream? No, this one is just on YouTube. I haven't figured out how to multi-stream just yet. I am hoping to in the future with Twitch as well, but it's a miracle that I have a career in the tech space and how non-tech savvy I am. That being said, you will eventually get this level of operators, it's just a case of being a boomer. Better kill them quick. Silence, it's all you. Okay, so can't completely zone out. Event rest time? Yep, pretty much. I'm not I'm not ending stream until I win. So however long that takes. Oh, looks like you might get your wish and I'll use oh no, okay, Silence pulled through, just barely. No, why activate. I should have had Eku aiming upwards. She absolutely would have taken care of everything. Backpack's pretty useless there. Yep, these are sheeps with traffic cones on their head. This event is a strange one, to put it lightly. Okay. Now that dust cloud really needs to die.
Awaiting order.
Honestly, I'm just gonna Phantom. Oh no, never mind, he took him out. I was gonna say, 07 would serve a good purpose. Like in Plant vs. Zombie. Yeah, actually I do get that kind of vibe though.
Awaiting orders.
Hey, Arketo's back. Not to play Reed. I no longer need DP, so sorry, Poncerous. Job here's done. The traffic cones makes him tougher? Yeah, something like that. I don't fully know. Oh wait, that's it? Phantom, why do you do no damage? Oh right, they're on the cloud. Okay, fair enough. Oh. It'll just be easier to let him walk. The game is a little loud, kinda hard to hear. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I will turn down desktop audio. Hopefully this will be a bit better. I've turned it down relatively significantly, and if this is too quiet, let me know. Okay, yep, now sweet. Onto the challenge mode. Alright, I need to quickly switch mouse. Give me 1 second. I tried using my brand new wireless mouse, and then it has a lag because it's wireless. And that throws me off. Alrighty, come on, normal mouse. That is much better. Thanks? Yeah, no worries, absolutely. Sorry, the sound balancing is a bit off. I believe this is my first time actually direct streaming a game. Usually I record and do voiceovers separately so I can audio balance in post. Enemies have increased HP. 07's to Skadi. You unfortunately did almost leak last time. So, Spectre. Can't have the double Skadi lane. As promised, Elysium is coming on out. And naturally with his S1. His S2 is probably pretty bad for this event because... Oh, not this event, this specific stage. What emulator? This is BlueStacks. It's just pretty helpful. Spectre's base? Hard agree. She looks fantastic and she's really strong. And Phantom, you weren't really useful, but... You were... Yeah, honestly, you... Yeah, this event, it'll be fun. Let's set up for your meta at the back. Alrighty, here we go. Coming out Elysium. Naturally setting it to 2 times speed. I'm not here to waste your time, and I don't need the extra time to think, so what's the point? That being said, I definitely want Spectre in the middle. That was definitely the busiest lane. Kibai one side, either side's fine. And honestly, I'm going to put... Oh no, Eku can still come here. She can aim at all 3 lanes. It's very helpful getting the clouds in this event, so I will actually make use of that mechanic. I usually... So far I have mostly been ignoring the mechanic, so I do expect to be caught off guard by whatever happens. Oh, that's frustrating. Enemies actually end up there. Fair enough. They don't want us to completely cheese everything. Damn, the devs read me like a book. They knew if they didn't force me to, I would just ignore the event mechanic. And probably Arketo there, that should be fine. No Golden Glow? I do often use Golden Glow, but usually for the first few stages of X and CM, there's no real specific dangerous waves or enemies, so you don't really get that much use out of a global range. Yep, there comes that guy. Alright, Fear Meta. Yep, this was absolutely perfect for exactly what I wanted it for. I don't like those clouds, they do a lot of damage. Who the quack carries a flag into battle? Yep. I mean, hey, he's not the only one. Sayluch, she's French, and then there's also the short lady Duran, so it's not just her, to be fair. Long range map exists, yeah, absolutely. I love tiles like this, because they tell you exactly where the enemies are going to be clustered, and then you just bring Fear Meta. And I can speed up her attack speed with Elysium. You can actually notice the difference, which is awesome. Oh right, they're not taking any damage because the cloud, I can fix that. Oh wow, that is such a massive difference. Message retracted? Oh sorry, didn't quite see that one, yesn't. But fair enough if you don't want me to. No stress either way. I won't ban you unless you're being incredibly cringe. I have a very, very high cringe tolerance. So don't ever worry about stuff like that. That said, good to see you again, man. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, honestly, this stage should play itself from here, so I'm going to activate Kibai's skill. Fear meta carry, let's go. Fear meta foaming at the mouth, yeah, absolutely. I've seen one screenshot of one of the other stages where there looks like an Ifrit lane. I'm absolutely using Fear meta instead. I love Ifrit, but Fear meta's just funny. And I love her sound effect, so... Hopefully the game audio is balanced well. Please let me know if you need me to turn it up or me down, or whatever combination. Fear meta lane, yep, easy. You made it, GG. Hey, welcome, welcome, Eltic. Good to see ya. Honestly, I don't know what this map is, but I don't expect X2 will be particularly difficult, so I'll keep the same lineup going in. Oh, this is the one. Sweet, Fear meta lane. Wrong button. Wrong button as well. There we go. Texas, you hold there. Poncerus, you hold there. You're doing your best.
Stop me.
Map solved. And I even brought a healer for her. X2 is harder than X12. Kind of gave up clearing it. I definitely understand that, but for me, I can just sort of stat check the enemies. So please don't feel bad at all about me breezing through some stages you struggle with. My operators are maxed out, and because of how fizz damage works, it's a very different experience once you remove this game. It has nothing to do with skill. It might have to do with skill later, but that's again, I've learned the mechanics through years of playing. Yeah, there's always an Ifrit lane if you try hard enough. Absolutely true. I loved all of the memes of Ifrit as one of the strongest units in the game if you have one tile where she can reach. Yeah, absolutely bring in Poncerus, unless the game physically forces me to. I will be very impressed if it makes me take Poncerus out of my team by making me actually need all of the units. Remember, Arknights is easy game. Yeah, if you've got a brain, otherwise pop through it. Yep. Till we meet again. Yeah, this is mostly a range stage, so Arketo should... Yeah, Kibai was absolutely a good choice for this, but Arketo hard carries this event. She's pretty good. Slightly worse than Eku against ranged enemies, but just... Especially because the boss has multi-hit. I don't want to deal with that. Or requires multi-hit to be defeated, rather. I don't want to deal with that, so Arketo. Is it worth 90ing 6 stars? Most of them, no. Exusier, maybe, but it's not a high priority. Exusier has the, I believe, still the highest single target damage in the game, but because she has relatively low attack, she gets a lot of benefit from each point of attack and each point of defense shred. That being said, generally speaking, leave units probably at E2 40 if you're new, and then just work on another promotion. E2 30 or 40 is a good spot to pause. Okay, and then I believe, from what I've seen, it'll get rid of all of these tiles. But that's absolutely fine. Yep, 4 tiles no longer deployable. Let's go. So yeah, absolutely, this is not a case of skill yet. Skill won't come into play until later on. This is just a case of I can stat check them.
Watch out for accident-prone areas.
It is a nice thing being a boomer though, getting to turn your mind off, but also in a lot of ways you do kind of miss the challenge sometimes. That being said, I'm not using like easier operators. I've leveled all good operators, except a small handful, so I'd be massively crippling myself. Is it worth leveling after E2? Yes, definitely. Leveling costs more every level, which means the first few levels are essentially free. So I would say it's a good spot to get, at very least, E2 20, probably more like E2 30, just because it's so comparatively cheap, you get quite a lot of stats. For some units, an extra 20 levels will be roughly as much of a powered spike as their E2, especially 5 stars and 4 stars, it's a bit more likely, because obviously a lot of 6 stars, the main reason you E2 them is their third skill, which is slightly different situation. Sick, thanks? Yeah, no worries. Go up at least 60 to get module? Yeah, but when you're a bit newer, 60 is really expensive. It's only us boomers who already have basically everyone leveled who can just casually 60 an operator. Yeah, Arketo is so stupid, I love it. It is a shame. I did dislike her for a while because she directly card-gripped Greythroat, and I absolutely love Greythroat. But that being said, she's very cute and grew on me, so... Not gonna hold that against her forever. Forgot about modules. You're gonna max Saga. Yeah, fair enough. I personally never really used Saga, but that's just a case of she doesn't really fit with my playstyle. I much prefer not having to press buttons, which is why I love Fear meta. So yeah, absolutely nothing to worry about just yet. That should absolutely be stage done. Might have to wait a little while for this guy. Yep. And then in this next one I need to break 2 bottles, but that should be very, very easy to accomplish. Modules are expensive? Absolutely, especially because they're effectively time-gated. It really pissed off a lot of boomers. Because when they're first added, like 80 units got their modules all at once, and you could do like 3 modules. That's why my most viewed video on this channel is Project Red, because back then it was genuinely really hard to afford modules. You had no module blocks. Just arrived in time for Ifrit lane. Ifrit looks a bit more bird-like than usual. I mean, hey, end of the day, Fear Meta is just like Ifrit, except it's only 1 tile, and it's right at the edge of the range. Saga Abarage lady, yep, she just shouts food. No reason to think about swapping yet, but I'll need to start considering teams more, probably about X6. Saga's a bit niche because she's very similar. Yeah, she is similar to a lot of other Vanguards, which is a bit of a downside, but at the same time, she is still unique, she still does her own thing. And keep in mind, Saga was relatively early, so it's more a case of a lot of other Vanguards are similar to her. Okay, definitely gonna bust out the Skelter. You know what, yeah. Might as well give Fear Meta some more time to shine. Man, I love Eku's Burst. It's so ridiculous. Texas Best Pioneer Vanguard. You are forgetting about our Lord and Savior. Definitely not a cult sponsoress, but other than that, hard agree. She's so convenient, and I'm so glad that they made her free for Zoomers, right before they then made Colonel Headhunting, which is absolutely anti-Zoomer. So, they're giving them a hand, and then also punishing them for starting late. You don't need to consider team building if you use Abyssal Hunters. Absolute hard agree. That being said, I don't like always just using the Abyssal Hunters. I don't even have all of mine maxed. Yeah, Spectre, you don't need healing. And that's why. Kibai, use your skill, please. She's loud though, Saga S2? Yep, absolutely. She is deafeningly loud. There was one very old boomer stage. Oh, she actually died, that's a surprise. One very old boomer stage where you could beat it with just Saga and Warfarin, and it was deafening. Ooh, my first loss of the day. Spicy. Nice. I'll have to pay a bit more attention this time through. The caster sheep are so painful? Yeah, you're absolutely right. I forgot how much damage they do because they only appear in like 1 stage. Okay. Say goodbye, Kubai. You were unfortunately a meme pick as much as I love you. Get shipped here. Absolutely. Okay. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna read Gladia just to give Spectre HP regen. Just for Spectre. Seeing max level E2 operators is terrifying. Yeah, I could have maxed more, but I mostly just maxed my favorites. Or some for meme videos, but definitely don't start leveling operators for meme videos when you're new to the game. That's very much a boomer mentality. Okay. So gotta take into account those casters. I think all I need to do is just move Fear Meta to the bottom lane. Ta-da, problem solved. We'll help her out with this first one. Thank you, Bagpipe.
My hammer's not so weak.
I believe you, Poncerus. Your hammer is definitely terrifying and not at all weak. Kibai carried all the stages. Yeah, her third skill is really strong. That's just the way I'm playing, where I'm just not at all focusing or looking at the maps ahead of time. Not really the best. Because she does unfortunately need thought. And I mean, I usually don't give thought to the stage as much, but even more so now that I'm going to be streaming this one. And then let's pop in Gladia here. Just a wall of Reapers, yep. Those are my favorites. Yep, those are most of my favorites. A lot of the level 80s are also a lot of my favorites, but just some of them are 5 stars, some of them are 6 stars, and I just don't have any level 90 specialists. I kept them at level 80. Because that way they can be in line with my 5-star specialist favorites. Spalto, you are so ridiculously strong. Okay. Might as well pop that. Sweet, that'll give me some Cloud. The Cloud definitely contributed in their favor. Oh, Akedo, don't go down. They don't have that much damage. There we go. Wall of Reaper. Yeah, I already read that. Reapers are very fun in this game. I love all the Reaper units. LaPlume are definitely E to 80. Actually, no, I don't like all the Reaper units. I'm not a big fan of Hummus. Nothing majorly against him, just not my kind of guy. Righty, I remembered to do the mission. Sweet. What do you think about Pazemka? She is incredibly cute. I love Pazemka. That being said, I prefer Schwartz. I like Schwartz as well, so it is a bit annoying that she kind of power crept her in a lot of way. Significantly increased DP cost. Should be fine with this many Vanguards, but I didn't really use Reed, so I'll also bring Metal. Do you play on CN Server 2? No, I'm going into this blind. I was considering doing so, but you now need to verify your identity, and I don't want to do that. My work would have questions for me about why the Chinese government is investigating me. So it's easier to just not, and at the end of the day, I do prefer having one account in a lot of ways.
Let's begin.
I don't like losing progress. Same reason I didn't apply for the Enfield beta test or anything like that. I just don't want to feel like I've lost all my progress. You got into C and it took you 3 hours to set up. Yeah, no, I absolutely don't blame you at all. But for me, I don't like making negative progress. As silly as that might sound. And I definitely feel like I'm starting again, and that definitely just doesn't feel that great for me. But again, I get why people play. It lets you see all the content ahead of time. I had to do sketchy stuff. Yeah, you had to hack in the government. Don't ask what you had to do to get access to CN. I don't want to know. Okay, Spectre, you're up. Texas, I don't need any more DP. They said I had significantly increased DP costs, but I'm really not noticing it. I know this is CM because it's only got one. One cost, but still. Do your thing, Fiametta. Good lord, 5 Swires. Yeah, it is unfortunate you didn't get the unit you want, but a lot of people did want specifically Swire, so hey, it balances out. Like everything should. One more to go? Yeah, absolutely. And hey, extra DP is pretty handy on merchants, so it's not that bad. Alright, I should add X here. I don't really need it here, but the buffs will be nice. Hey, yeah, but silence, that is pretty handy. And Spectre, who doesn't need it at all. But extra HP is pretty good on him, so. More Poncerus? That is my kind of guy. Absolutely. We need more Poncerus in the world. You can change Elysium. I only bought Metal because of the extra DP cost. I usually do use Metal, but it makes no meaningful difference. How long have I been playing? Technically since launch, but I did take a pause for a few months, right during the Granny event, and then I came back after Arknights. When I saw Lapland's face, and then was like, hey, I should play this game again. Flametail robbed you. Okay, it could be worse. My first pot 6 6-star was Ak, and he very quickly became pot 7, and I only have an... let me just show you the other unit who was on his banner, who is a limited. As you can see, not very high pot, I got one of these later. So before I got a single Nyan, I got 7 Ak. That was physically painful. How do you keep playing Arknights even after completing most of the content? I do tend to burn out a bit and go a bit easy. Alright, I definitely need fewer Vanguards. Something for CN. But that being said, like, I really like the characters. So it's not like I hard burn out, it's more just I'll passively play the stages. It definitely helps that whenever a new event comes out, I can just kind of one-tap it without much focus, which means I can instead just focus on parts of the game I really like, and doing other things until it's an event I'm looking forward to again. Based, that's cool. Hey, thank you. Pot 6, now you gotta raid the person to Ascension. Yeah. Man, my Poncerus is M6, Pot 6, E220. E280, what are you on about? She is already maxed. Cult of Poncerus, let's go. Okay, I don't really need Texas, but he's not gonna die. So, Exia, do your thing. Shame she don't... I should have put Skadi somewhere else, but that's fine. And let's start getting this spread. Don't really need you either. Fiametta was definitely the wrong choice for this stage. Arketo, go. You can help out there. Which limited? I have all of the operators, including the Rainbow Six Siege ones. So I'm 288 out of 288. But that being said, most of them are pretty low pot. Next limited after this one, yeah, as Milo has said, it should be, unless something goes majorly wrong, Viviana, but sometimes they do change things up. Okay, sweet, I thought they took 2 block, I was about to get worried. Pot 6, Ash 2, yes. I do have Pot 0 Ash, Tachanka, all of the Rainbow Six units. I was around for that event, thankfully. Candle Girl? Yeah, absolutely. The Candle Knight from Null's event, or Blemishine's event, depending on who you ask. And depending on which event, technically 2 separate events. Thank you, Arknights, keep doing your thing. I don't like these guys. Waiting on Texas Ultra rerun. Nyan was the only limited who will ever get a rerun. Unfortunately. So, I wouldn't hold out too much hope on that. It genuinely won't happen. Hog, she's non-limited? Yeah, I think you're right, actually. I think she's also another non-limited Ultra. Yeah, there won't be a Texas rerun. That being said, you do get a chance to spark, but you'd have to save up 300 pulls for that. You might just get lucky. And I know it's not nice to just go, oh, I hope I get lucky, but unfortunately, it's the same as the Colonel banners for new players. It does kind of decrease the experience, unfortunately. Ooh, do I need more AA? No, I should be fine. Eku should kill them both. Just in case they're low hovering. Texas, do your thing.
Awaiting orders. Shut
up.
Awaiting orders.
So yeah, once you get a bit more boomer at the game, you do know enough mechanics that you can just kind of ignore a lot of stuff. I understand a lot why people are struggling with these stages, though. These enemies do hit pretty hard. What is Tarkus' Stalkers? That is the Discord channel for my stream. I thought the name was funny. If people disagree, I'm happy to change it. I just personally thought it was funny. But yep, come on by if you want. You can hang out with me in Discord, or you can just get pinged when I go live. But yeah, no stress either way. It's there if you want it, and you obviously don't have to. You'll start farming rocks. Hey, my man. That being said, farming rocks in your base will kill your progression. It's usually better to level units, but if you really love Texas, worth considering at least, but it'll take a long time. You got Lincoln and Skadi Ultra. Hey, congrats. Approximately 3 months. Yeah, about 3 months, but not too much to worry about. More enemies will appear. That's no worries. That being said, definitely going to swap out for your meta. Probably... Who do I even want? I guess Reed. Probably won't use that. I'll probably just have Sculptor in a different position to buff Arknights and Eku. You might have to swipe, yeah. Look, I can't judge. I have swiped a time or two in my life. Though I haven't in a while, because once you get all of the operators, you generally tend to keep up.
You can't stop me.
You disagree with people who disagree. Look, I'm glad other people find it funny. I was worried people wouldn't find it funny. But I find the idea of calling people who want to get updates on my stream, my stalkers, I find that very funny. But again, I do completely get if people don't. You sparked W? Yeah, I've sparked W. Let me put it this way. I have a pot 5 W and I've never pulled W. I really wanted her and it just was not meant to be, apparently. But it is what it is, and end of the day, I have an almost max pot W now. Gold sets? Yeah, yellow certificates. They're colloquially called gold sets. There's a green and yellow shop, if you're not aware, in the shop. That's very handy. You can buy materials with greens, and you can buy pulls with yellow, but generally you want to save up 256, and it'll give you about 40 pulls. It increases in efficiency up to the max, so that's why you want to save 256, because that is the max you can get in a given month. Gavial Alta, you got 6 Gavials, a Cholter, and a Sculptor. We're aiming for... Okay, so you were aiming for gold, and you found a diamond, which is great, but not what you wanted. That's unfortunate, man. You'll get her eventually, don't worry. If you have like 300 to spare, you could get like 40 pulls. Yeah, it's a bit over 40 and it's a bit under 300. It's 268 or 258, I forget which. You Gaviel and Shins. The only spooks I've gotten are Rosmontus. I got multiple Rosmontus spooks. That was a complete waste, I shouldn't have bothered. But that being said, Rosmontus is cute, it's just she's a bit weird and not necessarily useful. No, she is useful, she's just hard to use, rather. But yeah, no, not gonna lie, I have actually been enjoying this event more than I thought I would. When I saw it in CN, I was thinking, wow, kind of a boring event, I guess I'll just breeze through it. But no, I like the operators. I didn't expect to like Poncerus. I joked about her, and then I liked her a lot. So hey, if you ever want to like an operator, I guess just start a cult about them, and then you'll like them. 259 gold sets for 38 pulls. Are you sure it's not 258? I definitely thought it was an even number, I could be wrong though. But yeah, no, it's actually pretty nice to be clearing X stages again, even though I'm not putting too much thought in my team. Abyssal Hunters definitely make that easier. It's been a while since I've really focused, and it is nice to be chatting while I do it. Usually I just Do it in my bed at 5 a.m. after not sleeping. Gotta love insomnia. You're kind of miffed you've got pot 6 Rosmontus pulling one from every limited banner. He's just like me for real. Yeah, that's absolutely fair. Can't complain. Oh, well, you definitely can complain if she's not the one you wanted. But hey, look, Rosmontus is at least cute. Only welfare unit you use is Lumen. Gladia is also a fantastic welfare. That being said, pullers are always a bit weird. Not as strong as Weedy, but who is? You can't really judge people too much about that. Okay, only 2 lanes. I shouldn't need a change. Might actually change up Gladia for Thorns, though. Oh no, I'll change out Elysium for Thorns. Myrtle for Thorns, yeah. Gotta love Thorns. He's just funny to use. I don't know what it is. Every time I deploy Thorns, I smile a little. Alrighty, SLX5. We're almost at the stage where I'll have to start actually thinking. Probably about X6. It does change event to event. Okay, now that I've got the initial DP, I'm not too worried about being efficient. There we go. Thorns, do your thing. Spalter, you do your thing as well. Now, I don't actually... Okay, sweet. Enemies do come this way. I'll need to block it then. Poncerus, this is... Oh, that's cringe. Invisible enemy, only 1 tile to block them. That's just a nuisance. Oh wait, no, I can block them here as well. Sweet. Hey.
Requesting the structure stable and sound. Nothing to worry
Whose thighs
about.
do you choose, Eunectes or Gladia? I would unironically say Eunectes.
Awaiting order. Cut them to
I'm
pieces.
definitely a Eunectes thigh enjoyer. It is what it is, friend. 90 days to limited banner, 50 pulls with free-to-play, 70% unlucky. I mean, hey, look, you could always get her. If you get an off-rate, it's more likely to be a limited unit than not. But that being said, it is still low chances. I definitely wouldn't bank on it if you absolutely are keen to get her. Fair enough, yeah. Look,
Got it.
Eunectes has really nice thighs. I love Gladia's Bloodborne aesthetic, and she also has really nice thighs. But there's a reason that so many people have memed about Eunectes' thighs. Bro, really? Gladia, do your thing. What a pain to have them all fly that way. Once I get Texas here, I'll just knock him into the holster. Sacrifice your firstborn type, Griff, yeah. Just pray to RNGesus, it'll happen. Trust. Honestly, Arketo, not really that useful there. It's better to have that. There you go. I'm gonna have to restart the stage because of these bastards flying. Oh, I can at least stop them flying. Oh wait, okay, sweet. I think they're going to the... Sweet. Yeah, they're going to the bottom blue box. That's less unfair. I was gonna say, what the hell is that? Literal just game ender if you don't know ahead of time. There have been a few of those, but they've been good about it for most events. Factual, yep. Look, all you gotta do is just get lucky. It's that easy. If you're lucky, you won't have to worry about not being lucky. Come on, Poncerus. I got faith. Now, Texas, will you destroy this?
Cut them to pieces.
No, not quite. I should be able to undeploy Gladia. Elysium, come on in clutch. Let's go. Hey. And, oh right, I forgot I had Reed. That would have made that a non-issue. Reed Halter's damage is so ridiculous. Like, look at this nonsense.
Got it.
Okay. Definitely don't want you running too Poncerus just yet. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. Stage 0. Poncerus soloing 2 sheep is wild. Look, man, I'm a big Poncerus enjoyer. Poncerus is pretty pog. Oops, slightly leaking. Arketo, do your thing. Thank you very much, Arketo. Oh, that's the last 2 enemies on the stage. Okay, Thorns didn't even have time to ramp up. You know what, Gladia, do your thing. It is faster to just use Gladia's skill, in my opinion. I could swap to Bagpipe, or I can just... Yeah, I'll just let it run. There's no point risking the loss this close to the end of the stage. You're not cleared this event yet. Is it hard worth? The materials in the shop can be farmed at any stage. If you're really, really struggling mentally with the X and CMs, don't worry about them. Or don't even bother getting up to them. That being said, the material farm in this event in the default's pretty nice. Akaton is at SL6, so if you can clear up to SL6 and just spam your Sandy in there, every stage in every Arknights event has the same sanity efficiency to event currency, and it is usually worth clearing out the shop, because you get, like, free pulls, lots of really good efficiency materials, plus stockpiling Akaton's pretty good. A lot of early game units absolutely use Akaton. But that being said, IRL sanity always comes first over a video game, but if you can at least make it up to SL6, that's pretty good. If you can push through it, SL7's not too amazing. You don't need to massively stockpile electronic components. I did a bit, but that's just because SL8 is a long stage. Manganese is very, very strong. You will use this a lot, but Akaton for new players is generally the better way to go, so I'd say at least get up to SL6, then you can just idle auto it and not really think. You're a Ling user, what's a better defender to build, Hoshiguma or Saria? I would say Saria because she's a lot more general use. I love Hoshiguma, but Saria is kind of ridiculous. She does everything. She has one of the strongest debuffs in the game, one of the strongest healings in the game from any melee unit, not compared to healers, obviously. She's pretty strong. Hoshiguma is default tanky. Hoshiguma is the strongest, like, default normal defender, but normal defenders are all relatively close to each other, so it's a lot more replaceable. Saria can fill Hoshi's job. Hoshi can't fill Saria's job. Outside of a lot of niche cases involving Hoshiguma's S2, but there's only really 2 or 3 stages that are super amazing for that. If you can't clear any stage, just look up Kyo guides. Yeah. Look, we've all been there, my guy. We've all been there. Okay, Thorns, you just didn't ramp up in time. Who should I use? I mean, I could just bind them to get them to fall, but that's a bit boring. You know, I'll use Mlina. I don't actually use him very often, despite how strong he is. SL6, SL7 are good? Yeah, especially, I would say SL6 better for new players. You don't need too many crystalline components, but if you can clear it, farm a few. S3 Saria more useful to you? Yeah. Saria's best skills are her S1 and S3. S2's pretty good, but it's outclassed once you've leveled your healers a bit, but it's good until then. Saria's a strong M9 contender, so really, leveling Saria is never a bad thing. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, Arketo, I'll pop you there.
Stress concentration point measured.
Backpipe, do your thing. Yeah, on God, absolutely. Right, I brought the miner. Texas should be up in time for that, so that's that taken care of. I'll pop him here to help out Poncerus when she needs it, but she won't often need it. Just in case, Silence, you do your thing. Arketo can take out 2 of these before they even reach it. I love her ridiculous range. 5 range for an AA sniper is insane. Are the stages fun on there? Some of the stages are bad, because the caster sheep are really, really frustrating. But that being said, I would say overall this event is pretty fun. I expected it to be a lot worse than it was, but I have been having fun with it. That being said, as you can probably tell, I'm a bit of a boomer, so this... Oh! I thought they went to the bottom one. That's unfortunate. But yeah, I'm a bit of a boomer, so I generally don't have to think as much on stages, so I'm definitely a bit biased. But that being said, there's nothing too painful outside of the caster sheep. And a tip for the boss, if you do reach the big boss, is just, multi-hit operators like Arketo and Blue Poison will reduce its shield really quickly. Can you clear stage with just Ling and Perfumer? That's your default squad. Probably yes, but you'd have to... Actually, no, you can't. You can't clear this event because there are invisible enemies and flying enemies. So you would need at least someone to reveal invisibility, or someone to deal with the flyers.
Let's begin.
So, yep, my apologies, you cannot.
My hammer's not so weak.
Like, case in point, even this stage. Honestly, I'll set Arketo there. Eku there rather than Arketo, rather. No one's gonna leak with Eku Skelter buffed.
Stress concentration point measured.
Okay, now that should be plenty of time for Bagpipe to be up and running. Yep. There we go, nice and easy. Shame to lose that sanity, but end of the day, always gonna make some mistakes, and I'd much rather do this than use lots of practice plans. Link solo, nah. No shot, not with invisible enemies. You'd at least need Silver Ash or Scene. Or anyone else who reveals invis. You tried this with your bears? Oh, you mean the Ursus gang? Yeah, honestly, should be doable with the Ursus gang. It's always great seeing enemies walk to their death. Okay, yep, and then they're low hovering, so ta-da! SL7 is possible, you guess? Yeah, I mean, look, if you're not having fun, definitely, end of the day, it's a hobby. But that being said, this event isn't too bad, and if you do just want to get maximum rewards, minimum effort, Gap up to SL6, SL7, then just idly farm. You really don't need to go past that in terms of efficiency, because every event has the same efficiency on every stage, which is something I like about Arknights. I don't like in a lot of other games where, oh, you have to farm the highest, hardest level because everything else is bad by comparison. Unga Bunga, 8 medics, 1 soda. That also wouldn't work this event because there are flyers. But there are plenty of people who will do every map that Serta can solo, quote-unquote solo, with her soloing them. And it's always funny to watch, even if it tends to take a while. You can out-heal her self-shred. So it is definitely possible. Buncerus, do your thing. Hey, let's go. And yeah, Mlinar just solved that issue. That's why I brought him. I can pop the bottles. That is his main use is to pop bottles. I'm gonna wait for the second so that I don't leak. There we go.
Awaiting order.
Ta-da! 4 enemies down. Are you bussing or the thumbnail hasn't changed? I don't think thumbnails do change on YouTube live streams. You have to manually make them. I believe it's just Twitch with auto updates. Or do you mean you're seeing the drip check one? Because if so, then yeah, that's absolutely wrong. If you're going for a random and having trouble completing X stages, it can be, depending on how much sanity it takes, both IRL and in-game. But don't worry too much. It took me like a full year or two to be able to complete my first set of X and CM stages. So push for them if you want to. It can be really fun, but it can also be really frustrating. So it just depends where you sit on that threshold. Ursus Gang, a oh, they're getting Russian VOs. That's right. I'm really excited for that. Imagine if you don't have guard meta, you have to try using Ling. No offense. No, that's something a lot of newer players don't understand. Guard has always been the meta. It used to be possible to clear every single piece of content in a game, with a team consisting of this. Let me pull it up, make sure I've got it. So you would have Lapland, but she was niche and replaceable. Even in the guard-only Knights, you'd have Spectre, because she had massive HP regen. You'd have Silverash. You'd have, where is he? Helga. And then who was the last one? There was one fourth one. I don't remember who it was, though. I think it's mainly Spectre, Silverash, and Helga. So this team could beat the entire game. It has always been Guard Knights. Is there an extra medal trimmed? Not for the X stages, but yes for... not a trim, but there is a medal for the DM stage, which this is a major event, so it has an extra set of stages after the X stages. Yeah, there are definitely a lot of guard archetypes. But we're getting Brawlers soon. Brawlers are getting their module, which means I can copium that Dagda will be usable. All she needs, like, she's honestly a really strong unit, really close to amazing. If she gets Knight's Honor outside of Return to the Mist, she will be, unironically, she will outperform Mountain in some situations, so they probably won't give it to her. But that being said, I do hope she gets a little bit of love. And then also Indra, all Indra needs, like, Indra's skills are really good, it's just the SP is really, really bad. Like, every 5th blow gets a buff, and 25-second uptime, 50-second downtime. If they improve her SP costs by about half, she'll definitely be a very strong unit, or even if they just buff her SP at all, is what I'm hoping for. Flint will get one? Yeah, absolutely. You think I don't have Flint and Bee Hunter leveled? I love the Brawlers. I'm very keen that they're getting a module. Having said, okay, sweet. Are we on CM? Oh, yeah, we're on stage 8 now. Okay, looks like they won't come this way. That's wonderful. You can't swing with Mlinar and SA. you can't Tartars with Serta. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But look, at the end of the day, like, I'm not really using any guards. That's just, I don't often use guards. There are a lot of strong operators in this game. A lot of them are guards, but also keep in mind, like, the largest class by... It's not even close, it's guards. And if you do have her, Tex Elter is also kind of ridiculously strong. I'll take her this map to show her off. To put it in perspective, I can now remove Arkedo. Tex Elter does enough AA to cover her job. So you know what? I was thinking of Dagda. I'll bring Dagda.
I've got no need to hide my identity if I'm fighting for...
You just found out the Doc is canonically male? Yeah, absolutely. He is canonically male. That being said, they did bring a very gender-neutral voice actor in the anime, which I wasn't personally a fan of just because the Doctor is canonically male, it feels a bit weird, but at the end of the day, it helps people self-insert easier, which is nice for them, so it works. Just a personal preference. It always, not always, it does sometimes weird me out when they have very gender-neutral characters who are still distinctly one gender, but there's nothing wrong with it, it's just a case of it slightly weirds me out. Hey, Poncerus tanks those any day of the week, let's go. Hey. Righty now, let's set up, just in case something leaks. Taken care of. Oh right, the big guys, I need to kill them. So yeah, as you can see, Texas is kind of ridiculous. This stage was painful. I definitely believe you. It won't be painful for me, but that's just because I'm a boomer. Unironically, stats make such a massive difference in this game. That's why there are cases like Eku where it's actually unironically worthwhile to level her to max. So yeah, as you can see, Texas is ridiculous. Oh, that's unfortunate.
I go.
I didn't see the second set of stairs. Oh, we salvaged it. We salvaged it, fellas. That should be fine, right? Yeah. Just in case, I'll give you a hand. Hey, big fella, come here. Damn, they hit really hard. Thankfully, I can just stun lock them. Texas is so stupid, man. I don't even use her that often for this reason, pretty much. Gravel, no. Yeah, I usually do bring a fast redeploy just in case I make a mess up like that. As you can see, it can be very, very useful. Only an S3. Yeah, Bagpipe does have 2-block with her S3, which is... Even putting aside Bagpipe's utility with her talent is ridiculous, giving 8 extra SP to any Vanguard just for her being in the squad. Her skill is one of the strongest Vanguard skills in the game, making her directly stronger than a lot of guards. Game balance. I would definitely argue Bagpipe is the strongest unit in the game. There are a few other contenders, but Bagpipe is definitely indisputably top 5. Like, I can see why people would say Surtur or Thorns, or Mlinar to a degree, but like, Bagpipe is definitely indisputably top 5. So no one can disagree, she's ridiculously strong. You accidentally mastered her S2. Are you talking about Bagpipe? I did that as well. It's good early on, it's less so for late game players, but it's still a very strong skill. It hard carried me when I first started with Annihilation, which I will never forget. I massively appreciated that. Would not have... No, I would borrow a friend's Bagpipe to clear Annihilation 1. Those were the days. Texas stuns the explosive ones so much that they don't even get to fight. I'm surprised Poncerus is tanking this. She's even tankier than I expected her to be. Like, those big fellas hit really hard. Let's just speed this up. Balance, yep. Yeah, Chen is absolutely a good point. Chen Alta, a lot of people do think she's the strongest unit in the game. I personally think her heavy DP cost, heavy SP cost, and range is a bit of a downside. But again, it depends on playstyle. Bagpipe is just the most general use, is why I think she's, like... There's never a team where you think, oh man, I shouldn't bring Bagpipe, if that makes sense. Talent with max potential is even more insane. Yes sir, that's why I've got a max potential. Alrighty. Didn't really need silence, but honestly this team should be fine. The smoke guys will do more damage, but I'll just put Spectre in the bottom lane. I didn't realize there was a second staircase.
Let's go.
Very, very easily fixed. Sweet. Easy as. Honestly, you know what? I'll just delete the first few enemies. I forget because I never use Texas. I can just do that. Not even close, baby. Right, now Poncerus, you come out. And Gladia, let's make you assist. Yeah, I like that placement.
Request load capacity calculations complete.
I don't want you reaching my units. Sweet, that handles that. Come on, Elysium. Let's pop. Let's pop. And that's me done with the Vanguards for the stage. Except Bagpipe, because Bagpipe is just a guard. Bagpipe doesn't count. I like Poncerus? Yes, sir. I may or may not have started a cult about Poncerus. To the point I've had lots of people complaining in my YouTube comment section, why does Arknights EN suddenly like Poncerus? And I definitely contributed. I wasn't the only factor, but I did contribute. So I'm directly to blame for that guy's misfortune. Damn it, she's not quite... She didn't have her second skill up. That's unfortunate. Executor situation, yeah. You lost to the girl who carries a water gun. It is like that sometimes. You know, let's pop that. Sweet, that'll help out Spectre massively. Not that Spectre's in any danger. She just casually one-shots them. Speaking of game balance, Bagpipe does not even get scratched. Effectively still full HP. You know what? I don't want you reaching. 2 is enough to deal with. Texas really is game balance.jpg. Yeah, let's pop them before they reach there. Sweet. Reed Alter is also kind of ridiculous. She's a medic, by the way, wink wink nudge nudge, who just has the highest arts damage in the game. Like, including Serta, it's not even close. Oh, Bagpipe went down, that's fine. Dagda, it's your time to shine. Oh, Eki went down. Oh, well. Oh no. There we go. Damn, these guys, I forget how hard the caster sheep is. That's annoying. Hey, Poncerus is back up. Cult of Poncerus, let's go. Big fella, I just wanted to delay you. That's a white tile, so Elysium should be fine for a little bit. Kaboom? Kaboom indeed. As soon as Tex's altar is back, this should just be stage over. Yeah, that enemy's not going to leak in time, especially because Spectre is about to pop. Sweet. Now, can I wait long enough? Yes, I can. Ta-da! Gamebalance.jpg. Oh no, I might still leak these 2 enemies. I don't think I... Oh yeah, Bagpipe's up in time, sweet. I was thinking I would be fine. Yep. So yeah, this is definitely the stage where I need to start actually paying attention, unfortunately. But this is about where I expected it would happen. And yeah, wow. Those fogs make such a massive difference. That is insane that he actually survived. Oh no, I said seductively. Oh no. No, nothing seductive in my voice, it's just all about the deep bass. I've got an incredibly deep voice, as I'm sure none of you have possibly noticed. None of you are aware, clueless.
Building that'll never
Hey,
be destroyed.
get to see Poncerus at the end screen? Absolutely love to see it. Right, now given I did actually need to think about that stage, let's take a quick gander ahead of time. 3 lanes. Okay, I definitely need to swap things up. Dagda is unfortunately not tanky enough for this event. Also 1 block. Problem solved. There's a tank.
Sitting around in an office won't bring about justice.
Good luck with SLX. This stage is kind of ridiculous.
For a
Let's
fact.
find out. You're excited to new bear? Oh, is there a new... Oh yeah, that's right. There's Leto coming out, right? Worst stage by far. I have heard people complain about X7, but I haven't seen it yet. So hey, let's run it. Let's see how it goes. I might need to swap out Gladiator. Gladiator is kind of useless in this team, except for... I brought her solely to give Spectre HP regen. Top tier free-to-play unit, by the way. Oh, damn it, they're invisible. Yeah, I can see why. That being said, I have game balance. Oh yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, I can definitely see why if they're applying massive amounts. I can absolutely see why that would make it very difficult for people. That being said, no shot Spectre dies. As soon as I can get a healer up, unless she dies beforehand, which I don't think she will, especially if I kill these bastards. Oh, never mind. She did get procced. I see why people hate it now. Those caster sheep are very annoying. Let's pop this, please. Gladio. Set Poncerus. Oh no, that's in range of the caster sheep.
My hammer's not so weak.
It is what it is. Asbestos arts. Yeah, Asbestos is fun. I just don't particularly want to use her. Yeah, I might use her later. If I need to, I definitely will. Let me put it that way. Okay, Texas, do your thing. I want that one too. Oh wow, she got 1 shot down. Okay, yeah, I can definitely see why people are having trouble with this stage. Those invisible enemies are really annoying to deal with. That being said, Spectre definitely has a strong chance. Okay. Make that one disappear at least. Come on, you can do it. Texas. Oh, you have a limited number of the... Oh no, it just hasn't died, right. I was wondering why that wasn't coming back. It's an unironic skill issue. You need Nightingale? Yeah, I can definitely see why people would need Nightingale for this stage. Who is better size, Udage or Side Rocker? Udage, and it's not close. I hate those ones. It's those ones specifically. I might actually just need more DP regen. Yeah. I think if I'd placed my vanguards better, I would have been fine. Definitely doable with this team. I'm gonna restart. Since Gladiator is free, is Spectre worth using? Spectre has been one of the strongest units since the launch of the game, and she is still one of the strongest units since the launch of the game. She's definitely been outclassed a bit by some other guards, but both versions of Spectre are very strong. That being said, Spectre Alta with module, definitely stronger. If they're not blocked, their ability is activated. Oh no, it's a case of every tile they walk across, they will deploy the smoke, and they are invisible unless blocked. So I'm actually just gonna honestly do this. If nothing else, I'll proc all of these cheap so that it doesn't get spread everywhere. And that should give plenty of healing. So that'll at least delay the inevitable. Oh, normal Texas might be able to handle it. If I do this cheekily. Sweet, okay, that blocked the one I wanted it to. I love how much of a defensive buff you get when you're in a white cloud. So you can actually tank the bloody sheep. Oh, Arknights crashed. Lovely. Module normal one got one too? Yeah, normal Spectre did get a module, but the Centurion guard modules, or AoE guards, as everyone calls them, is a little bit eh. Yeah, there it goes, rip. Hey, look, end of the day, it only costs me 1 sanity and a little bit of time. That's fine. Spectre has 2 wounds. I mean, yeah, look, there's technically 2 Spectres for Spectre Alta. You don't need to specify just one part of them that gets duplicated. Arknights is an easy game if you have certain units. Yeah, to a degree. But, I mean, I can do it without Spectre, without Texas if you want. This is more just a case of I'm a massive boomer, so... Yeah, honestly, red should be fine. Texas definitely is... I don't like how strong Texas is because the executioners rather were really well balanced. But now Texas is just better than all of them combined.
Contempt for the law is a crime.
But look, it is what it is. Unironically, default Texas, kind of pog.
You can't stop me.
In my opinion, kind of better. Because she gives starting DP, which is an insane, insane talent. That should be enough. And you know what? I'm gonna do what's called a pro gamer move. Oh, I miscalculated how much DP she'd give me. That's fine. Oh, that's less fine. That's unfortunate. I should still be able to activate all of these in time. Or at least enough of these. They started power creeping really hard. Yeah, I do kind of agree with that. Power creep has definitely gotten a lot worse. That's annoying. If I had actually had the DP I thought I would have, I would have been fine. No, just pop that one there. Let's get the white cloud. That's much more important. There we go. That should be enough of a defense buff. That should definitely at least give me enough time to set up properly. Lucian's gonna die. There we go. Okay, and honestly, let's just set up Reed. That is a massive problem solver. Now, that was absolutely my fault. I miscalculated how much DP I had. I was going to drop Spectre here and play the game super aggressively. Didn't work out. Ran out of DP. Reed, can you pop that? No, out of range. That's right. Honestly, let's have red pop it. Definitely good to get the cloud. Bada bing bada. Now, I definitely need to set up Bagpipe. Oh, I might be able to set up Penance in time. Yeah, there we go. That being said, this is arts, but it shouldn't matter because Penance is ridiculously tanky. Dex is about to die, that's fine. Nah, I don't need that. Spectre's fine. I don't need that either, but might as well. Penance is definitely about to die. Not a big fan of those big ones. Okay, this time all I need to do is just not mess up this bottom part. If you start losing, you start losing hard, unfortunately. If you run out of DP, it's a problem. Still, no, this is good. I'm having to start thinking. Red probably isn't the way to go, though. She doesn't serve much purpose outside of popping that early on, so... It honestly might even be better to take Zima, just to decrease SP cost. Likewise, I'm going to swap Eliab to Metal, just because beginning SP actually matters... beginning DP matters a lot in this stage, because of how quickly that bloody invisibility guy moves. I hate invisibility mechanics on enemies. That being said, it's very fun when you're invisible, so it's fair enough they get to use it too. Use W? If the stage wasn't so DP tight, I would, but this is a really crazy DP tight stage. So.
Let's begin.
Like, case in point.
Got it.
You need to block it here, otherwise you're kind of screwed. So, absolutely it's worth rushing some DP ups. Now this should definitely be enough for what I want. Catch it, catch it, catch it. Yeah. There we go, sweet. Okay, and I got the white off. Perfect. That should be fine. As long as that detonates white. Yes. Easy. Damn. It's still procced that? That's a pain in the ass. It is what it is, though. I really do not like these invisible enemies, not gonna lie. Gladio, why would you target that one? Come on, Gladio. I set you up for everything. Oh, well, I mean, hey, that works out. As long as Bagpipe can proc skill. There we go, sweet. That's that taken care of. Yeah, the downside of this cloud mechanic is it is actually a useful mechanic, which means it makes you think, and if you mess it up, you actually get punished. Which is cringe. Imagine getting punished for making a mistake. Like, what the hell, game? 32.29? Oh, yeah, W. Believe she costs 27 for me, but I have a high pot. Which is why. Okay, that being said, everything should be up in time. Echo, can you pop that just to make it symmetrical for me? Thank you, thank you. Yeah, sweet. Should be absolutely fine from here. It's just a case of that invis guy is really cringe. Added deploy slots. Easy fix. And as soon as they're deployed, I'm going to drop that there, and then proc it with Breed. Oh, I thought I wasn't on 2x speed because I thought I was focusing up. No, sir. Yeah, as long as you are on a white tile, you should be absolutely fine against the big guys. Big fellas, I think, is their actual name, so that's fun. Can't believe you... Yeah, you can't... It's so unfair. They're making me think with the mechanics. Like, what is this nonsense? I'm actually having to use them. The Dorothy event was really good for that as well. You did unironically need to engage in the event mechanics. It was cringe. Ah, really? They're dropping another one? Thank goodness for exit. Well, let's pop this one. And then let's heal you up. Yep, top side, absolutely no worries. Spectre tanking like crazy. Alrighty. Honestly, pop that. That'll be useful. I love the sound of Exu's skill. She just shoots things really quickly. I love that it's one of the strongest skills in the game. And all it does is raise her attack speed. Letting her shoot 5 times. That's it. It just makes her really, really fast and it's ridiculously strong. Alrighty. Now time to do this on CM. That's going to be a pain.
Looks like luck's on my side instead of theirs this time.
Hey. I'm happy again I got to see Poncerus. Okay. Now, what's the CM challenge? The casters have a high attack speed. I might unironically need to take Tex Alta just so that I don't have to think. Gonna cut out Gladia, she had nothing there. And all I'm really gonna use her for is that very first enemy, because it's just a pain. Outside of that, I'll try to avoid using her. Penance, I also did not use you. The stage is too short to use W, or really any high-cost operator. Who better to get when reroll? What, Penance or Texas? I'm personally a fan of not rerolling in games, so I'm definitely biased, especially games like Arknights where progression is so important. But I do understand why people reroll. It's just personally not for me, so I unfortunately can't give you much advice in that regard. There's no point getting another Vanguard. I mean, I guess just Golden Glow or something. Golden Glow's always a safe bet. Even if I probably won't use her, that slot's kind of empty. But hey, it is what it is. Eku best from Beginner's Banner. Oh, yeah, I get what you mean. I wouldn't necessarily reroll even for Eku. I started with Angelina. That being said, starting with Eku is definitely better than starting with Angelina. It is incomparable. Angelina can't attack for most players most of the time. It's ridiculous. Oh, I might have messed up that timing, but that's fine. I can get it there with the Zima. Oh no, Texas might? Yep, Texas proxy. Wonderful.
Awaiting orders.
What can I say? I'm a real problem solver. And now that should start filling up white. Sweet. That's all I need. As long as the white fog gets spread, should be able to take this out. Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty. Now, it is a bit of a shame they died, but that's fine. Give you a healer. Set up Burita here. Might as well. Oh, that's right. I had Spectre up top there. Who's going to lane hold this time? I don't think it really matters as long as they have 2 block. Poncerous, let's go. Try using defenders that have high res to disable their special ability. Yeah, good. I just prefer to brute force it. Silver Ash is nice for anti-invis, but because the invis spawns so damn early, it's kind of pointless.
I'll do my best.
That's the only reason it's a pain, because if you don't stop him, this is going to be a nightmare, especially with the casters having higher attack speed. That's just really painful. No. I'm not letting you leak, you bastard. Hey. Oh wait. She's already in Scardy range. That was a waste. That's fine. Poncerous tanky. Let's go, Poncerous. Let's go. Okay, got the white cloud. Should be fine. Now, let's get Eku spreading this white goo all over the place. Backpack, do you think? Ta-da, ta-da. They get so tanky as soon as they're on the pink cow. I mean, I guess that is the entire stage mechanic, so I can't blame them. Kinda reroll. It is a bit different now, yeah, you're right, because of how hard it is to get launch operators now because of Colonel. I'm really not a big fan of Colonel recruiting. I think that was a bad change that makes it pointlessly harder and more complex for beginners. That being said, I still enjoy the game more by just whoever I get is whoever I get. But certain people, like, I have rerolled in some games before because I wanted a specific operator. But for what it's worth, I usually haven't kept playing that game because chances are if the reason I'm playing a game is for one specific operator, I'm not going to stick around because I won't enjoy it. But again, plenty of people are different to me. I am but one point in a graph. That was that. Yeah, they're going to leak. Sweet.
Awaiting or cut them to pieces.
Reed, you are so ridiculous. Might as well speed this up. Ta-da! Stage done. Maybe you have a second account and you want to swing. You don't have Silver Ash. Silver Ash is just now discount Linar in a lot of ways, unfortunately. But that being said, Silver Ash is still very, very fun. I like Silver Ash. He was the strongest operator in the game for a while, but Eku is the most long-lasting. She's been a very, very top-tier operator since the game's launch, and she still is. Still the top-tier AA sniper. Not even Tequila? Isn't Tequila available permanently? Or is that not quite yet? He will be available permanently for free eventually because he was a welfare. Okay, now I'll definitely need Archetto in my team for this because Archetto nullifies the boss. It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, honestly though, pretty content with this team. This will probably be the hardest stage though. Tequila Swing, he is Linar's archetype, so yes, but not nearly as much as Swing. He is no Silver Ash. Not even Linar is Silver Ash because the sound effect is just so satisfying. Tequila is permanent now? Oh, sweet. Then yeah, you can just get him. He's a welfare unit. I thought that was the case. Okay, so you definitely have some time for this one. That's wonderful. That means I can do this. I'm going to take out boss phase 1 right away. Because might as well. So yeah, this is the power of Arknights. She will pop that boss's defenses soon, and then Backlight will do the rest. I don't really want to deal with you just yet, so I'll pop you too. Please pop that, Texas. Any second now. There we go. Oh no, it's definitely increased its defense. That's good to know. It was a little bit squishy in the earlier stages. That would be very frustrating, but it's good to know in terms of game balance. It won't be fun to deal with, but it's good game balance. So I can't complain. Oh, it's already using this attack? Damn. Yeah, that's way earlier than I expected.
Questo ti farà.
Oh, I guess I did pop it, so it probably uses it right after that. Texas, will you be fine there? Yes. I aggroed it. That being said, half HP, I'll take that. And it has a pretty long route, so Arknights should be fine to retreat. I'll pop Reed there for now, just so I get some DPS out. I'm not too worried about DPS though.
Non mi interessano comunque.
Ah, I love Texas as Italian. Yeah, you're right. Tequila isn't swing swing, he's sweep sweep. Ah, bloody invis guys. Every time. Thankfully, Reed basically makes anyone immortal while there's an enemy in range. It is definitely a boomer privilege to just be able to nullify event mechanics by healing through them. Oh, that being said, Eku is running low on HP. Let's pop this one first. It's going to be important in a sec. Glad I noticed that. Ah, more of the invis guys. Cringe. Oh wait, no, bagpipes in position. Absolutely fine. And let's reset that, same as usual. Honestly, ah damn, that's not deployable. Where's the ship going next? Should be coming up here, I believe, so... And honestly, Arknights will be there. Pretty good there anyway to get some tiles moving. Sorry, I'm not talking as much on this one. I do actually have to focus because this is X8. But no, that's a really nice sign. I don't always have to focus on X8. There have been a few events where I haven't. But yeah, Arknights absolutely demolishes the boss's shield. That being said, it's probably not a good idea to pop the boss down there, because no one can damage it. But that's fine. That'll make it very easy to pop once it reaches here. And I should be able to burst its second phase, and if not, I mean, hey, I'll find that out. Moment of truth, right? Aya's really good on this stage. Yeah, I mean, it probably is unironically made for her. They often have stages literally made to show off the units. Do I have any DPS? No. Tex Ultra is not enough to meaningfully damage it by herself, so... Might as well wait for it to pop out here, and just burst it down. Wow, what a terrifying special attack. It did nothing. Damn it, can you stop setting all these stages to pink again? These tiles, rather. It's frustrating. We should be coming out here. Yep, sweet. Oh, Eku, don't pop it early. Don't pop it. Oh no, it already popped. Damn it. Ah, that's fine though. Should still be pretty easy to pop, especially because I can take out most of its shield before it moves a single tile. Especially because, if I recall right, Reed does dot. Oh yeah, sweet. It zigzags. Yeah, absolutely, I'm fine. That should be phase 1, no worries. There we go. Both A is good here, that doesn't surprise me. There have not been many stages where A hasn't been good. Yeah, Arknights, let's make this easier. Oh yeah, definitely glad I did that. I don't want to deal with these guys. Let's pop them... Can I pop them there in time? Depends if Silent Stones goes away. Oh, it walks in a circle. That's wonderful to hear. Oh, they do loop-de-loops. All of them do loop-de-loops. Let's take out these ones. I'll just make it simpler. Yeah, not a surprise. Oh no, bagpipe. Come back. I'll need Texas soon. Keep him alive, Silence. Do your thing. Oh, right, sweet. Reed's up. Oh, is that guy gonna leak? Nope. Right, I forgot. Reed. And this is nice though. This is definitely taking strategizing. This is a good set of enemies. Gonna need to pop it one more time. That's unfortunate. Thankfully I will... yeah, I'll keep Texas just in case Myrtle goes down, which she will in a second. Okay, Eku, can you put this in 1 second? There we go. Ideally, I'd want to drop the boss there in range of Spectre. Oh, sweet, it pauses there. Easy. Bam, and the boss is gone. Not completely, it might actually survive this, but it'll be pretty close. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And sweet, I've got blockers up for when inevitably things start leaking again, because Myrtle is not built to block. But yeah, no, the boss is low enough. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, especially because Reed's skill is up now. That being said, it is going to start moving through, but that's to be expected. It's done its loop-de-loops. Oh, that is not who I intended to deploy. Oh, come on, pop it, pop it. Damn, that will have been really close. Oh, well, I'll switch up the team and run it back.
It's okay, Doctor. A city covered in volcanic ash is always pale.
Shame I didn't catch it quite in time.
Beautiful
Oh yeah,
flowers
bringing Irene,
will
that's actually not a bad
eventually
idea.
sprout on it.
Damn, it's been a long time since I've two-starred something. I probably don't need Zima. I definitely don't need the rush as much this time. You know, I'm feeling some Chen. Actually, no. Chen doesn't do enough burst. What was the map like? Are there any good range tiles? If so, I'll Schwartz. Yep, sweet, Schwartz it is. Okay, I've got a plan. And then I will definitely bring another guard because just Spec Delta isn't quite enough. So, who am I going to phase out? Honestly, probably Eku. Oh, no, she was kind of useful there. So was Reed. Ah, Spalter. That's right. Skada. Bleh. Words. Skadi Alta. I would try Passenger, but I don't actually have him leveled. So, unless you want me to try out 5-star Passenger. Just not a big Passenger fan. Nothing major against him. No real room for another ranged operator. Yeah, definitely need a guard. Let's go with someone tanky. Yeah, Blaze, just in case. I can use your passive as an extra life. Chen can hit aerial units? Yes, she can. But that's not why she's here. Don't worry about it. I don't want to deal with the bosses phase 1, so I'm going to make it so I don't have to deal with the bosses phase 1. That's why I brought Schwartz.
Awaiting orders. Shut up.
Yes, Poziemka technically power corruptor. Does it matter? No. Okay, Arkella to pop it. I'm gonna set here this time. Contours should be fine there. I can wait one more. That should be perfectly timed. Or close enough. So yeah, this is what I meant when I said I don't want to have to deal with the bosses phase 1. It doesn't actually attack in phase 2. So that is that solved. I love Schwartz so much, man. Okay, now Poncerus is good to go. She'll probably get popped. That's fine. I don't really need Myrtle. Don't really need DP more. Oh, it spawns all of the phase 2 enemies right away. I guess I can't blame it for that. Wow, I'm surprised you got popped there, Texas. Okay, Blaze should be up in plenty of time. And yeah, now I just don't need to think about the boss at all. Just these invis annoyances. Texas should take out 2 of them, I think. Nah, not quite. Not quite enough damage, that's fine. Spectre can absolutely free tank them. Spectre with her skill up is functionally invulnerable. It's a little bit schnutty. Yeah, there's no point. What are the point in these range tiles when the enemies spawning up there have invisibility? Now, if I can pop the white cloud, should be fine. Yep, sweet. That'll make that a little bit easier to deal with. Not that it's any major problem. Yeah, without the boss attacking, it doesn't attack in its phase 2. Definitely easier to deal with. Pozemka is enhanced Schwartz. With modules, they're ridiculous together. Hard agree. I do understand why people think Pozemka is enhanced Schwartz. I just really like Schwartz. Especially her skill range is a little bit nicer. It's 5 tiles, which can be pretty helpful. Can I pop the boss here? Yeah, it pauses here. It pauses in Schwartz range. It pauses somewhere Schwartzable. Oh, damn it. Targeting other enemies. That was unfortunate spawn timing. Oh, it's going to take some damage. I love how much defense it has, and it doesn't matter because Schwartz is going to Schwartz. Alrighty. Oh, I should... Oh, yeah, never mind. You're fine. Reed almost died before Spelter did. Least tanky spelter moment. Oh, yeah, right. I forgot you were there, Shorts. My apologies. Ideally, I want you to fall right there. Wonderful.
Assumo le posizioni designate.
Yeah, and I should still have plenty of time to take you out. Might as well help out my team. Sweet, got shield back up.
Awaiting order. You can't stop me.
This will just give him more time to focus DPS where it needs to go. And it should loop around back into... Oh, yeah, sweet. Wonderful. It is an Efu's range. Just in time for our skill to proc, too. And that's the boss down. Easy, there we go. No point. I'm not going to get that white. So, Inna's shadow thing is good for Inna's. Yeah, for Invis, I do agree. I just don't like dealing with Invis. Why? You've got me saying Inna's. I don't like dealing with Invis this event. I always find enemies Invis a little bit annoying. Totter seems good for Invis. He would if his damage didn't suck. Alrighty, now what's the deal with challenge mode? Uses skills more. Okay, so my strategy will just completely nullify that. That's good to know. That being said, is there anything I want to change about this team? Maybe silence. I'm generally a massive silence fan, but because everyone's so clustered together, might be better to take Telopsis or even Nightingale. Who is a good unit? Imagine you just have Coco Dio. Yeah. I mean, Cruz Keen Glint is still definitely good for this stage. That being said, though, obviously, being able to Schwartz the boss out of spawn, definitely a major advantage that makes the stage a little bit easier, shall we say. Not going to pretend it doesn't. That's why I didn't expect this stream to take long, and it looks like I'm going to be right. I think I've lost 2 or 3 times total. But again, this is just... These stages would have taken me like 6 hours when I first started. It's not a case of me being good. If your units were this strong, you would also have a much easier time. It's genuinely just boomer difference. Everyone knows the best AoE healer is Calzi. Why do you hate me? I'm not going to do that. Okay, sweet. Now I can draw the attention to Poncerus, who's tanky enough to deal with it. Yeah, it'll target last attacked, which, last deployed rather, which means it'll go. Oh, sweet. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. That's slightly less perfect, but it's fine. Okay, now let's get ready to go. Myrtle should... Yep, sweet. Myrtle should kill that one. Should have time to get her up. Yep, absolutely. Backpipe gang, let's go. Damn, Blaze died? Oh right, I didn't get it up in time. Yeah. It makes such a ridiculous level of difference, having the cloud versus not having the cloud, both in terms of how tanky the enemies are and how tanky you are. Oh, it lived! That is slightly unfortunate. I might have to change strategies. Deserved. 100% deserved. It depends. Can Myrtle tank it long enough? Yes. Poncerus, it's all on you. Let's go, let's go! Oh, I might still be able to salvage this. Depends on if I can pop the boss or not. Look, it's never lost until it's lost, so...
Let's begin.
Keto. And hey, look, at least this way I won't have to deal with the Invis bastards just yet. How's Swire Altar good on this stage? I personally don't use merchants very often, but Swire Altar I would imagine is quite good on this stage. Especially because she's kind of tanky, but I think the boss can just out DPS her tankiness, which is a bit unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, those phase 1 attacks are annoying. I'm glad I popped it last time, shame I couldn't this time, but I got close. I'll just need a frequently heal Blaze. Unironically, Silence would have been better than Nightingale here. Deserved. Okay, now, do your thing. And that's the Invis guys taken care of. Let's go! Okay, now... Okay, sweet. It's using its skill. That'll delay it plenty. That's... Pop the skill. Spectre. Not that it matters. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, it should move. Yeah, it moves very slowly when it's using its attacks, which is fair enough. As soon as it's in there, I can pop Arknights here. I love Arknights' shield. It's so useless, but also so nice. Now that should be enough to pop it. Oh, maybe not quite. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, not quite. That's right. I forget how like defense makes such a major difference. The boss having extra defense in CM, massive pain in the ass. This is definitely a focus up moment, unfortunately. Oh, I might actually be able to pop it with Texas just because arts damage Lamau. If I can pop its phase 1, I'm fine. Nah, looks like not quite enough. Poncerous, tank it out. Your mad gladiator doesn't sing. Yeah, I do kind of agree. It'd be fun if she did. Tank it out, tank it out. Can I pop its phase 1? Yes, sir, let's go. Okay, this is salvageable. It's salvageable. It's not ideal, but it's salvageable. Definitely want them to blow up Texas rather than invade Dula.
Più fai veloce, meno farà male. La fortuna ti ha abbandonato. Più fai veloce, meno farà male.
Draw swords.
La fortuna ti ha abbandonato.
もしどこかが急に発火したらそれはただの副作用だからね。おはよう。戦闘中私がたどるんだ。
Le tue ultime parole? Non mi interessano quelle.
But to be fair, Matterhorn can hit 100% res. Also, sorry, no idea why my mute button didn't work there. Hay Fever season be like. Unless I was muted this entire time, which I assume someone would have told me. Okay, let's definitely... It's just the boss now, meaningfully. So, I'm gonna pop some DP gen. As soon as it gets its shield, let's pop that there.
Let's begin.
Good job, Stun Myrtle. Thank you very much.
Got it. You can't stop me.
Pop it, please. There we go. Okay, moment of truth. Can I burst it down in time? Maybe, maybe. I can get another Texas in. Damn, it's already flying. That was quick. That was crazy quick. Thankfully, it is using its skill. I have a chance to at least burst it. Nightingale, you're not needed anymore. Oh, sweet. Okay, it's got another loop. Yep. Easy clear. I was panicking. I was thinking he was about to leave. Nah, sweet. First try, baby. That was surprisingly stressful because I messed up in the early game. You're sure Crocodile couldn't kill it? No, but she can ground it. Same way Arknights wasn't really doing damage, but Schwartz could. Though even in this, like, it has enough defense that even Schwartz was struggling. That being said, Cruise King Glint, very strong. She's basically discount Exia. Not quite as good at dropping it as Arknights because Arknights triple shots for longer. But that being said, like, the main thing is grounding it and then just bursting it down, so it's more about having good burst units, especially arts burst units. If you use someone like Air or Casto or KB, KB's very, very good against this boss, especially because it's got high defense. Alrighty, that's definitely it for the stages. Is there anything else I want to do? How's everyone's day been going? Hopefully you've all had a pretty alright time. And if no one wants to chat, that's also fine. No stress either way. But if you do want to tell me about your day, you're more than welcome to. I also have a Discord if you'd rather chat through there. Shameless self-shill there. It is pinned in the top of the description. Pinned in the top of the comments and top of the description. So if you want to swing by there, you're welcome to. You can get alerted when I'm going live. Or alternatively, you can chat with me. Or you can chat with me by DMs. I'm pretty sure in one of my streams I said what my Discord is, because I don't care if people DM me. Yeah, no, that being said, this was relatively fun event, but I do definitely see how people are getting frustrated. Those invis enemies, especially on stage 7, were a massive pain. Pot 5, Bryophyta. I haven't got any of his pots yet, so he's pot 0. I usually get operator tokens last. I don't know why. It's just because they're so expensive. And I get more immediate use out of the materials. But I will be maxing him out. Even if he's not that useful, he's an amazing base slave. Amazing gold slave. Oh, flex my operators? Sure. You want to see some cursed knowledge? Let me show you my Ifrit. So you know how you're supposed to give Ifrit Mastery 3? My friends were telling me Mastery 3 Ifrit, and they don't seem to like how I did it, but I stand by this decision. That being said, flexing my operators. As you can see, fair few max pots, or close to max pots. You just get dupes when you're pulling for limiteds. That's part of why they went for Colonel Headhunting, even though I do agree they went about it the wrong way. Fully maxed Tequila, congratulations. Oh, Angelina, another fun masteries. So a long time ago, I tried to clear all of IS-2 using just Angelina's S1 and the robots. So even though I love Push Meme, I don't have a S3 mastered, and I do have a S1 mastered. Probably my Maxbot W is the closest I have to a flex, except for the fact that I had to spark all of them and I never once pulled her. Do I have a single favorite operator? I could definitely narrow it down to top 5 pretty easily. It's hard to say single favorite. Let me actually think. I can use a squad for this. Lapland is definitely up there. She's the reason I'm playing the game right now. Fartooth also up there. W, Red. Where's Red? There we are. Yeah, of course, maxed out. So yeah, as you can tell, I definitely have a thing for grey hair. Don't worry about it. Design-wise, it'd probably be Kubai, but definitely not like personality-wise or gameplay-wise. Limited with full pot. It's even worse than that. Every single one of these was a spark. I never once pulled her. She's not... I don't think she's my only limited with full pot, but she's the only... Yeah, like, I got very, very lucky with Spectre the Unchained. That was an organic limited with full pot. W was not. Learn from my mistakes. It isn't worth it unless you're a turbo simp. That being said, I work in IT, so... Actually, yeah, I think those might be my only two... Oh, no, yeah, that's right. I've also got Scardy. Scardy's very cute. Warfarin is absolute favorite. I definitely don't blame you for that. I can probably remove Fartooth from this. I think I prefer the other 3 more than her. Schwartz would probably be my number 5. Wrong answer, you don't see Stainless on the list. Look, hate to break it to you. Stainless isn't really my kind of thing. I do get why people love him. I just don't even like his archetype. Like, I don't like his gameplay. I don't use Roberta either. I just leveled her because 4-star so cheap. Account damage. No, account damage implies it's unfixable. Account damage would be leveling J. If he gets E0'd, goes from E0 to E1, your account is permanently damaged, and you have slightly decreased the max amount of LMD you can make per day. Likewise, having AK, having hung, unfortunately account damage for me. I have gotten so many hung, and every time it's painful. Noircorn, it is a shame you can't level Noircorn any higher. I love the guy. I need to level his guard version more. I think I only have him just barely E2. Oh no, E2 60. That's not bad. Yeah, trying to narrow it down. I think my overall favorite might just be Red. I really do like Red. But it's definitely hard to choose between those 3. That being said, I'm not actually that much of a fan of her swimsuit. I definitely prefer her E2. Love this pose. I love the outfit. Exia also, as I'm sure you saw earlier. I love Exu's E2. Love her like crazy. Poor Gnosis. I want to level Gnosis. He's really strong and I like him. I just haven't quite gotten around to it yet, unfortunately. What operator is that AK? Yeah, absolutely, that was AK. And I'm not furry enough. Furries just aren't my thing. No shame if they're yours, but not really mine. I don't even have Mountain leveled. He's the only brawler I don't have leveled. I've got Dagda maxed out. I've got Indra high level. Yeah, 46. Oh, not that high level. I've got Flint and Bee Hunter, Etude. I've got Jackie, Etude. Then you go all the way down to here, and here's Mountain. Ironically, easily the best one. But just not really my kind of thing. How long did it take you to E2 that many characters? 4 years. And I still have quite a few to go. But as you can see, I have E2'd the majority of the roster. But that being said, like, again, it's just a boomer thing. I've been playing the game a long time. And, like, for example, I could probably afford to E2 Mer right now. Do I have the materials? No, don't have medics. But everything else, I absolutely could. 4 stars especially, yeah, like, I could easily E2 Mei right now. They are cheap once you're a boomer. That being said, not going to E2 Mei. Not a big Mei fan, I don't like her voice. Saga, 81 level 5, yeah, look. I've never particularly liked Saga. Arketo is the exception of a character who needs a lot of button presses, who I actually still like. That being said, unfortunately, Saga, same as Mulsis, just not really my kind of operator. Beanstalk is... Oh no, Black Knight is my favorite of the Mulsis archetype. Vigil is unfortunately where he belongs. You're not a furry, you just absolutely adore Ak for his questionable ethics and lack of morals. Absolutely based. I can see it in the profile, prove it. What, that I have all characters? Yeah, absolutely. 288, baby. These turn blue when you have everyone from that faction. And yep. W and Red, definitely 2 of my favorite characters. I pop Bagpipe here because I have Pot 6 Bagpipe, and a lot of people still don't. Always useful for new players as well. Yeah, there are definitely still some operators I need a level, but... I mean, I even have a team of units I want to level. Some of them have been there a while. These are modules I need to get. Ethan's low priority, because he has a very similar module to the other Stalkers, and I like all of them better. Caesar, I want to level him for memes. He has a flat damage % increase. It's fun. Vigil isn't that bad. Look, let's just say there's no longer a debate about who the worst 6-star character is, because there no longer needs to be a debate. Here is the answer to that debate. This is the tier list of worst 6-star operators. His wolves just don't function properly. I love his design, I love his character in the event, just as an actual unit, they did him so dirty. Especially because Gladia is the other 6-star welfare, and she's ridiculously strong. How built is Kwani Palat? She's E2 30, I believe. Yep. No masteries. I don't really understand how to use Kwani Palat, I just like the art and the color scheme. But definitely built. Caster from Milsis... Oh, Hulkiak. Look, the main reason people like Hulkiak is Dommy Mummy Snake. So that's the main reason. As you can see, I've got it E2'd, but nothing else really.
There's no plan.
In your opinion, the worst 6-stars in the game? Okay, so... Previously, and I don't necessarily agree with this, but I will run through it. So previously, the worst 6-stars in the game were Mystima, Chen, and Skadi. They were considered the Blue Gang, and were the worst 6-star units in the game. That being said, I always did kind of disagree. Skadi, at the time, her S2 was really fantastic, and so was her S3, it's definitely undervalued. Her S3 gives her an unbuffed 8,000 HP and 2,500 attack. Like, it's pretty stuff. Helga, you'd actually be surprised. He was one of the cornerstone guards. He was considered one of the best units in the game. You could beat the entire game with just a total of 4 guards, and he was one of them. Theoretically, if the boss were attacked 30-second intervals, Virgil would be great. At that stage, Mudrock would be better, though, because her shields regen faster. Ebenholt's not built either. I really like Ebenholt's, but I've tried out charge casters in the past and just didn't really like him. Like I have Indigo built pretty... Iris, that's the one. Iris, I do kind of like, but just feels weird. But yeah, these 3 were considered the worst. I definitely disagreed with Chen. Chen was always pretty strong. Her S3 fell out of favor, but her S2, as you can see, 20 starting DP, SP, 20 SP cost. This is a pretty ridiculous nuke. This can just delete enemies. It's pretty strong. That being said, like, she could still act as a lane holder as well. But I do understand, like, she is a bit weird. But mixed damage was very, very rare, and Chen was not a launch operator, but she was part of the... She came with Chapter 5. Which, fun fact, Chapter 5 was actually added to the game. It didn't always exist. So, when I left, the final stage in the game was Chapter 4. I completed all of this, came back, and I was like, yo, that's chapter 5 featuring Chen and Blaze. Siege is bottom 5. Siege, I would disagree with that. She might be now, just because Saga exists, but she's always been good. Like, Siege still is really good. The only problem with Siege is, in almost every situation, it is better to use Saga for most players. And if you want DP gen, her S2 is kind of bad these days. That being said, like, Siege is still a pretty solid unit. Is it worth to build Dishwasher? I mainly built her for her base combo. If you have Ebenholz, definitely not. He's much better than Chargecaster. Much better than the other Chargecasters, I should say. That being said, Chargecasters are fun for nuke memes, but their range is a little bit weird. It's AA sniper range without the tiles directly next to them. But yeah, so Skadi, I could understand why people think she's the worst, but that being said, like, her S3 was always pretty ridiculous, and her S2... This is a ridiculously... it's fallen out of favor now because units like Surta can heli drop. A true heli drop skill instant activation. You can see how ridiculous her base attack is. She could just kind of kill any dangerous enemy immediately. It was really insane. Even more so than Phantom. Like, even directly compared to Phantom, Skadi just hits harder and faster. So I would definitely argue Skadi always had a use case. Mystima was just a case of Chargecasters were really expensive and had bad SP. All they really did was just, with her module, they gave her better SP costs. Better DP costs, rather. And a global slow. But which was really nice. Like, she definitely needed the buff as much as I really love AoE casters. Chen was ridiculously good at dealing with Emperor Blade. Yeah. Her S3 is insane burst damage. Like, it's actually ridiculous. Real question is, have you accidentally gotten Courier to trust 200? I'm pretty sure I built Courier on purpose because, unironically, there's one stage in Chapter 7 where, and every boomer, pretty much, will agree with this, you needed Courier. Let me see if I can remember which stage. You don't now because there are more options that you can get down earlier. But one of the Chapter 7 stages, it just starts with such a rush of dogs. No, not that one. I think it's 7-4. Nope. Nope. No. Okay, so it's a bit later than that. That's good. Where is it? Is it this one? No. It's hard to tell by the thumbnails sometimes. Oh, no point checking a story mission. Oh, yes, this one, 7-9. So, essentially the only unit in the game who you could deploy on this tile fast enough to catch the rush and not have them immediately die to the dog was Courier. So people, unironically, had to level Courier. Mystima can trigger... Mystima can trigger Kabai's talent. I'm not actually sure. Let me read Kabai's talent. I forget what her talents do. I think so. I'm not sure. That's actually a really interesting synergy. If so, because Mystima gives a global slow. I think that actually would work. Played since launch, never leveled Courier. Then you are a Giga Chad. Because, like, did you use Granny instead? You needed a defensive Vanguard, and those were the only two. Or, like, I think if you had a really built account, some of the Vanguards could just barely tank it just by having high defense. But I remember those, because the dogs are really heavily armored, so you needed someone to tank it out. So I am actually really curious, who did you use to beat 7-9? Or were you just like an Omega Boomer with really high units at the time? Yeah, like that being said, left side isn't too much of an issue, but it was just catching the dogs here on this tile really early was a massive pain for people. Courier was your only male Vanguard. Hey. Elysium's nice. Yeah, no worries at all, Muffin. I'm just genuinely curious, like, you can check or you can not. I understand if you don't, but... Because I remember, like, I know a lot of people who had to level Courier specifically for that map. It was very funny to me. But yeah, so... It used to be Team Blue who was the worst. Chen didn't really get buffed. People just realized she was strong. Mystima got a significant buff from her module, and now she's one of the best casters in the game, which is really nice, though her SP costs are still a bit whack. Skadi, her modules are pretty strong. And she's also gotten stronger through the other Abyssal Hunters synergy. You built Elysium because meme? Nice. Look, Elysium's fun, especially if you love snipers. He gives a ridiculous buff to snipers. I just don't personally use him enough for that to come into play. But yeah, 23 attack speed, that's effectively like 20% extra damage on your snipers in addition to making them cheaper while his skill is active. Oh, it was max pot Siege? Yep, that'd do it. That's absolutely fair. And that's what I mean, like, Siege has never been bad. She's in her worst state now just because there's better operators by comparison, but Siege has always been really strong. I think it was a case of if you didn't have Siege, you had to use Courier. Maybe you could get away with Granny, but even then, that'd be a bit risky. But either way, like, that was a fun stage. You used Elysium against Big Cube Robot Boss. He was MVP. I don't actually remember who the Big Cube boss you're talking about is, but Elysium is MVP in a lot of stages. Flagpipe with Bag S2. Yeah, if you have Flagpipe, that trivializes DP costs. Elysium is pretty good for SSS. Yeah, for SSS I generally run Bagpipe, obviously, then like Texas, Myrtle, Elysium. You just run, Zima, as many Vanguards as you can, and then you just deploy Irene on top of them. And then she always has her S3 available, and she just demolishes them. But yeah, so this used to be the previous, hey, who's the worst 6-star in the game? And now, no one even has that debate anymore, because this is the worst 6-star unit in the game. And I really like him, and I really like his design, but like, you've got to take into account, Black Knight and Beanstalk are both directly better than him. They not only came first, and a lower rarity, but they just still directly outperform him in most situations. That's not Dorothy. You'd be surprised how hard Dorothy hits. Dorothy has ridiculous attack. Like, this looks pretty low until you compare it to a lot of snipers. So my level 90 max pot Exia with maxed out module has 20 more attack than Dorothy at level 60. And then you look at like her multipliers. She does AoE 300% damage that binds people for 3.5 seconds. Like, Robin was pretty solid, and then Dorothy was ridiculous. Like, Dorothy, she's hard to use, but she is actually quite strong. Does Saleech have a similar use to Elysium? All of the flag bearers have different individual uses. Myrtle's the most general use. Saleech has a lot of handy buffs. So she can apply Fragile, which is a strong debuff. She can also heal. So it really depends what you want to use. That being said, like, I don't use Saleech that often. She's the most expensive, meaning if you're just about DP Rush, Myrtle is the best. Dorothy is E1 level 70 on your account. You wish you could undo it? Yeah, look, fair enough. Not everyone likes Dorothy. Trapmasters are weird to use as well. That being said, like, Dorothy hits pretty ridiculously hard. Case in point, when I did my Pacifist run, I could not do it with Robin because Robin is single target, and even putting that aside, Robin's single target damage was not enough. But Dorothy, you can clear IS-3 just by deploying her traps. You won't leak, unless the enemies are invisible. Because I was doing true pacifist, not a single unit attacked that run. And Dorothy S2 was the only way that was possible. Dorothy and Moo clear most stages in the game. Honestly, oh yeah, Summoners have always cleared most stages in the game. You used to be able to clear basically the entire game with just Scene and Magellan. I don't have Magellan leveled though. But just those two. And sometimes you'd have to substitute Maya for Scene, but not often. You really don't think Vigil is the worst? Yeah, he can do unique things, but it's not even a case of like his kit is necessarily bad. His kit genuinely just doesn't function properly. The fact that you can one-shot his layer 3 tactical point is just a bit of a problem. And he also generates 2 DP on his S2. That being said, like, I completely get why people like him. And he's still better than most 5-stars. It's just when you compare him to most other 6-stars, he struggles the most to do his job, which is early lane holding and DP generation, if that makes sense. When you compare it to basically any other 6-star, at their job, they will generally do better. Ops like Exia are like, what? Okay, there was actually a lot of people used to think Ashe was better than Exia, because Ashe's burst damage was nutty. Then Exia's module, unironically, the extra, 40 attack she gets is enough to take her over a threshold where the most armored flying unit in the game, the Chapter 8 drones, she no longer deals chip damage and deals normal damage. And now she power crept Ashe again. So now she's the best AA sniper again. Because now she can kill any drone in the game. Modules will fix him Copium. I unironically think Vigil is like bugged or something. He needs more than modules. That being said, I am keen. I hope they can fix him in his module. I want him to be good. Especially because he was the second free 6-star after Gladia, and Gladia was disgusting. Vigil will make him meta. Okay, sorry, that is Copium. Gotta head out? No worries, man. Glad you had fun. I will catch you around, Deltic. Why wouldn't you just use Archetto's S3? What for? If you're meaning for the super tanky drones, Arketto S3 isn't enough. It takes, like, she'd be dealing more than chip damage, absolutely, and hitting twice. Eku hits 5 times. So their attack is roughly comparable. 30% bonus on 500 versus 10% bonus on 700. But Eku can just shred them. That being said, Ash's burst is pretty ridiculous on her S2. Module and best support Stainless. I take it you like Stainless. I understand a lot of people like him. He looks very, very nice. It's just a case of I don't like Artificers. So I don't really have any reason to use him. And look, you can see I used him a bit. I did try him out. But it's just like, I didn't really like Roberta either. Melee supporters feel weird to me. Armpit Cat? You're going to have to narrow it down. There's more than one Armpit Cat. They managed to salvage Passenger with modules. Absolutely. Passenger with module is really, really strong. I haven't got his module yet, but I have got him E2 level 50. Oh yeah, no, that's right. I do have his module. Only at level 1, though. He's very, very strong. I understand the Godsinger memes. Vigil module will be one more wolf. That would be very, very funny. I hope they do that. I think a lot of people will be very upset if they do that, but that would be very funny. Because it's not like the number of wolves really helps him out. Oh. Yeah, I recently... My most recent E290 is probably KB. KB's just cute. Her module is so much fun. 80% defense as damage. It's so ridiculous. Passenger's a weird example of being viable by being able to do unique stuff. Yeah, he's definitely a niche character in the sense of he fills a role that no one else really can. It's really handy. +1 range is really good on change casters. Sorry, stuttering a bit. If Stainless ruined your Chongi pulls instead of Dorothy, you wouldn't be bad. He's just usable in male lights. Yeah, look, that's fair. And if you are a male lights enjoyer, obviously you don't want to use Dorothy. But unfortunately, all of the Trap Masters, all 3 of them are female. You've got Dorothy, you've got Robin, and you've got Frost. And oh, sweet, I did E2 Frost. But yeah, that being said, like, unfortunately, I really like Robin. Dorothy literally directly power crept Robin. Same way I disliked Arquetto for a while because she directly power creeps Growthroat. Her module is Baguette. Yeah, I know, right? I love KB so much. Really dry bread. That's all it is. It's just a baguette that's a bit stale and she beats you with it. And yeah, her first module synergizes really well with her S2, so why would I ever bother to get this one? Oh, she gets SP up, and she already has a ridiculous uptime, so... That being said, the upgrade to that talent is pretty nice, extra attack and attack speed, but it's just not as nice as scaling off defense, which is their main niche. Because at the end of the day, you mostly want casters to deal with defense enemies. So the fact that she doubles down on that is really fun. KB is eternally E0 50. You're always building everyone else. I do get that. For what it's worth, KB actually gets a pretty significant power spike at E1. So if you can get it to like E140, E150, she'll be usable from there. You don't need to get it at E2. That being said, like if you already have good casters, you really only need 1, maybe 2 good casters. Casters are definitely the most replaceable. Especially because like there are a lot of good casters who will be the only caster you use. Like back in the day, it used to be you would basically either have Ifrit, KB, or Aofiela. And they would be the only one you have leveled. You're considered weird if you leveled Mostoma, and none of the others really existed yet, except the 5-stars, who were all bad. What's my favorite summer skin? Probably Skadi. Default Skadi, because I think her Orca plushie is really, really cute. Like, I've even sketched it a few times. I much prefer this skin. Like, I love the drip on that skin. But man, I love this Orca plushie. It's so cute, man. Quanipolat is the only caster you've gotten to E2. First 6-star was Golden Glow. That's unusual, but you do you. I've never really used Quanipolat much. Definitely feels like Holkiak, which is just a little bit weak, but you can absolutely make it work. End of the day, all you really need is a source of arts damage that's ranged, and you'll be fine. Rosa's like that, got her 2 years ago, and always had... Yeah, I wanted to level Rosa for a while. I think I do now have her E2, but I don't really use her. Her niche has fallen off a bit. She used to be anti-heavy. But now it's just like, why would you want to bind and demolish anti-heavy? Don't get me wrong, she's still really, really strong at it. It's just like, why would I take Rosa when I can take Cholta? You know what I mean? Slightly different range, but if I want long range, I'll take Fiammetta. Or Pozemka, who can attack from 2 different tiles at once. Or even W. But W is always around. Hole isn't bad. Yeah, she does have debuffs, but if you want Silence, you'd take Lapland. If you want Levitate, you'd take Irene. So Guard Knights... Guard Knights back at it again. Her module's great. Yeah, no, Rosa's really, really strong. Like, you always expect Rosa to not deal with anything, and then, like, she attacks a heavy enemy and they just evaporate instantly. She's kind of nutty strong. Just doesn't really fit my playstyle, so I haven't leveled her much. Typhon is going to kill Rosa even more? Absolutely. Typhon is ridiculously strong. Typhon is a meta sniper, despite being ridiculous. Like, this range is a little inconvenient. Same as Horn. Horn's archetype, I'm not a big fan of this range. But Horn, and especially Typhon, are just strong enough that they're useful anyway. You have neither. Fair enough. I mean, hey, if you want to play around, there are weaker versions of the Besieger, but that being said, there are lots of really good snipers. There's no shortage of really good snipers to use. Typhon is cute as hell? Yeah, absolutely. It's the same as Pazemka. It's not just a case of Typhon is really, really strong, she's also really, really cute, so a lot of people who don't even like her gameplay will pull for her design. Like, look, I love how they do pink in Arknights. Every pink operator is so damn cute. Oh, that's right, Pazemka's a rare case of M9 for me. I don't have many M9s. Only guard you have that isn't Midnight. Oh, the collab cat is Silverat. How? Surely you've got, like, at least Lapland or Spectre or La Pluma. If you do have them, you should level them. They're all really, really strong, those three. You like milk with grape flavor? Fire Whistle? Yeah, I do like Fire Whistle. I actually like her more than Horn, even though she's worse. Just, I like the splash of Arts Fire. Oh, you mean Typhoon? Yeah, gotcha. You also have Arene. Arene is kind of bad. Definitely don't level Frostleaf, by the way. Frostleaf is directly worse than Midnight. Like, my Frostleaf is currently worse than your Midnight. And my Frostleaf is maxed. Is it worth leveling Fire Whistle? I would say no. Not for IS. The range is... A lot of IS stages, like, there's flying enemies she can't hit, or this range will just really hinder her. In terms of 5-star defender, the best for IS would probably be Nerl, maybe Aurora if you get good relics, because Aurora's DPS is kind of nuts, but she does stop blocking when she's recovering SP. You never had Frostleaf until like a month ago? Yeah. I mean, I suspect you're new then because 4-star, but absolutely nothing wrong with that. But don't worry, eventually you'll just like forget all of my 4-stars are maxed, most of my 5-stars are maxed. Frostleaf gets directly worse with E2 permanent account damage? Yes, actually. Unironically, E1 level 60 Frostleaf is stronger than my Frostleaf. That being said, she also has the best mastery scaling of any unit in the game on her S2. So if you do E2 her masteries are ridiculously strong. That being said, even fully mastered, she is worse than Midnight. It kind of sucks. But hopefully when they give her a module, they'll let her apply Chill, which will make her useful with Aurora and Kajara, which is a little niche, but it'll make her usable at least. Been playing for a year and you don't have most relevant ops? Don't worry, man, it takes time. 1 year in, I did not have anywhere close to even a third of the operators, and there were less operators at the time. Like, Hoshiguma is one of the operators I liked the most. Like, I actually bought the Hoshiguma figurine. It looks fantastic. I love this skin. She was the very last permanent 6-star I got, and it took me like 2.5 years. They could also remove the interval increase. I really do hope they do it. It would be funny if it reduced it further, though. But yeah, if her module at least removes the interval increase, then at least it wouldn't be permanent account damage for leveling her. Then at least you'd be able to say, hey, look, she directly gets better from E2, which is the main thing people have against Frostleaf, unfortunately. Way, you are not a casual IS player. I know you, man. There are no good 5-stars defenders. Yeah, I do agree. Especially higher Ascensions. Generally, if you're going, like, none of the 4-star defenders are really worth it either. If you get a defender ticket and you can't afford Horn, I would say Cardigan or Spot, but even then, like, it's... Defenders in IS3 aren't very good. They're a lot better in IS2, but they really, really struggle in IS3. It's quite unfortunate. That being said, like, good 5-stars, La Pluma, fantastic. For IS3, she's self-sustaining. That being said, she doesn't work well with medics, so if you get a stage where she takes damage over time, she'll just die. But she's pretty solid for a 5-star. Like, it's... Most of the other classes, some of the 5-stars are worth it. I wouldn't actually think any defenders are even worth getting on IS3, especially once you get higher. You have zero idea when you got Hoshiguma, she's unbuilt. Yeah, Hoshiguma is definitely the best default defender, but, like, case in point, Lisgarm and Hung can do most of her work. Except for this meme, but now Penance kind of has that. But that being said, like, Hoshiguma is ridiculously tanky. She has more than 1,000 defense permanently. She is very, very tanky. She, by far, has the most defense in the game in terms of permanent. Oh, and also to put it in perspective how tanky Poncerus is almost as tanky as Nyan. Once her S2 second activation is up. She has less HP, but in terms of raw defense, she basically matches Nyan. Like, Poncerus becomes a defender level tanky. How about Bison? Heard he's good with modules? I can't say for sure. I haven't personally leveled Bison yet, because it's just a case of once you have one good defender, you don't really need to level others. Most of them are... The reason they started going DPS like Penance and Horn, and even Aurora, is just because so many defenders are interchangeable. Like, a lot of the time, Liskarm will do Hoshiguma's job, will do Saria's job, will do Blemishine's job. So it's just a case of that's why they started having to go to DPS, because if you have Hoshiguma leveled, there is no reason to level any standard defender, because she just directly outperforms them. If you have Saria leveled, there's no reason to level any healing defender, though at least that's only a few of them. Blemishine, she was unique, but she was a mixed DPS healer. She was the first one. Then they started going things like Mudrock, started going wacky with the ranges. Pluma drops off higher ascensions. Yeah, I do agree. You need 3 block a lot of the time, so unironically for high ascensions, I would think Highmore is better. That being said, La Pluma is outside of that extreme niche where the 1 block is important. It is ridiculous that La Pluma directly out DPSs Highmore. You can stall any boss with just Hoshi and Shining? Yeah, pretty much. Hoshiguma is ridiculously tanky. There are some exceptions to that, though. A lot of bosses are arts or have defense down, or in Tallulah's case, deal true damage. You need Spot for IS-3? Yeah. Because otherwise, if you get a defender ticket, it's wasted. And also, he's tanky enough and can heal. I definitely agree. Gummy costs hope, though. So, especially, like, you don't really want to be wasting hope on Gummy on higher ascensions. Her healing isn't that much better than Spot's. Hello, totally not Greenbird cult, man. We're not a cult. We're just a fun-loving bunch of people having a good time. But yeah, no, look, it started out as a joke, and now Poncerus is kind of one of my favorite operators, so... I wouldn't say she's top 10, but she's definitely top 20. +1 hope cost is annoying as fuck. Yeah, look, I'm gonna be real. Every single time I run IS, I take the same team, and it's the one that decreases hope by 1. I haven't gotten up to max surging waves yet, but I recently pushed from about 8 to 11. 8 to 12, yeah. So I haven't fought the absolute highest. I know it gets meaningfully difficult at, I believe, 14 and 15 both, especially 15. Who is top 1? Top 1, I would say, is probably Project Red. But it's close with her, Lapland, and W. But that being said, like, I really love Red. I don't even like her swimsuit that much, but like her E2 art, her E0 art less so, but I really love her E2 art. Same, you don't necessarily think it's the best, but you usually take because it's more fun. Yeah. It's just not fun to be unable to start with a 6-star. And especially because hope is so limited, and sometimes you just get RNG unlucky and you don't get much. Justice Knight has a good niche to a degree, but Justice Knight, like, needs more attack. Justice Knight deals no damage. Definitely the worst robot. That being said, all robots have a niche, inherently. I love the robots. I'm a big robot enjoyer. I'm so glad we're getting more and more 1 and 2 stars. We are 1 operator away, which will be you official from being able to have an entire team of definitely super strong operators. Whenever I get a chance to put Noircorn in a team, I will. It's just really hard because he's kind of bad. If you need advice from a casual IS player, where you literally won a tournament, you're not casual. You are the definition of a competitive IS player. Just because you don't do it anymore. Like, of all the people who can claim to be a competitive IS player, you're one of like 5. Eunectes is really fun, as much as I prefer Aurora. Because Aurora is very cute, and I love her design. Like, I love monochrome designs, and very, very light blonde mixed with white and black. Absolutely love it. And obviously, I'm also a thigh fan and a stomach fan, so plays into what I like. But also, like, it's very funny how much damage she deals. She gets herself to just shy of 2,000 attack, and then deals 330% damage. Like, the first time I really used her, I used her in IS2, and she unbuffed without any relics, did 8,000 damage in one attack, and I was like, okay, I should use Aurora more often. Justice Knight helps you SLX7. I definitely understand that. X7 is kind of bad map design because they spawn in so many ranged enemies with arts that can just basically one-shot you. And you essentially need, like, not literally need, I'm sure you can find ways around it, but it's just very frustrating that you pretty much need to catch the first invisible guy here, and you don't even have time to get... Even with Flagpipe, you don't have time to start generating DP. I wasn't a big fan of X7, not gonna lie. Tony, the IS Bingo tourney? Yeah, Way won one of the IS Bingo tourneys. Casual, yeah. Most, least... No, yeah. Most casual IS player is Way. Literal competitive. That being said, though, I really loved IS2. Just IS3, like... There's too much RNG, and this is coming from someone who... I unironically built an Arknights randomizer. I don't think I ever shared it with anyone outside of a few people in a Discord I'm in. But I unironically have a randomizer website where it'll roll random operators for you, with the intent of using it in IS, but then IS3 was bad. Only E2 medic you have is Lumen. Lumen is pretty strong. You can definitely get away with just Lumen. That being said, if you do ever change, if you do ever get Calzi or Reed, they're great to E2 just for DPS. Outside of that, Warfarin's a great buffer, and Silence is the most general use medic in the game. That being said, like, I need a level Lumen. He's on my to-level list because he is really strong, especially in stages where he doesn't remove negative statuses. Because then he never runs out of charges and he just gets a permanent 200% attack buff. You despise IS2 because you never get the ending encounters. Yeah, that was a major issue with IS2. Like, I still haven't completed the 4th ending because I only got to attempt it twice. After like 10 hours of grinding. Cruise Ultra is good on IS3? Absolutely. The biggest problem, in my opinion, with IS3 is how ridiculously tanky the low-hovering seaborne flying enemies are, and how early you face them. Like, the fact that some of the early stages can game-end you unless you have 3 block and a ranged DPS is ridiculous. And that's on, like, level 0. But that being said, Cruise has a stun, which destroys low-altitude hovering, which will make them fall into holes. So she's definitely strong for IS2. Are you the one who makes the... I don't think you're using my AK randomizer. I don't think anyone in the public outside of me knows it. I built my own custom one. If there is another randomizer, that'll be someone else's, but mine is like literally just a default website. I was learning to code, and I had nothing to do at work, so I was like, okay, I'm going to make a fun project. Because I was learning to code HTML, JS, and CSS, which are just 3 languages for web development. So as long as I was practicing that, my work was fine with it. So I was like, okay, sweet, Arknights randomizer. You got Calzi in one pull, she's E0 max. Calzi definitely gets a lot out of E2, just because her skill 3 is ridiculous. Her other skills aren't bad, but like, her skill 3 is insane. Monster becomes essentially unkillable and basically one-shots everything in true damage. That's how you read that skill, and it's very high uptime. Ice and Fire Pompeii stage, Mechanical Menace, Out of Control, 6th floor roadblock. Yeah, man. Oh, does IS4 fix our issues with IS2 and IS3? That's good. I don't like the vibes of IS4 so much, but if it's good gameplay-wise, I'll play the hell out of it. I loved the aesthetic of IS2. I loved that sort of opera dark castle vibes, the phantom theme as well. Pompeii stage when you have a knight on the team, yep. There's 2 AK randomizers. I can guarantee you there's one more than you're thinking of because no one else but me has used mine. And I have made my own personal one. But it's good to know other people have done this as well. Most difficult CC. I can't fully weigh in because I wasn't around for CC0 or CC1. And I came back to the game right before CC2, which was... Oh, no, I was around for parts of CC1, my mistake. I was around for a little bit of Pyrite, but not meaningfully. Pyrite was very fun, but I reckon in EN, CC1 was the hardest because it happened earlier, so we didn't have certain key units. That being said, my favorite CC, despite not actually really enjoying it that much, CC9, that was the best balance they've ever done. There were so many different ways you could very easily get to R18, and there were so many different ways you could do, like, risk 25. There were so many different teams for that. That was incredible. But I just didn't like the enemies, so I didn't have much fun personally. But hey, banger theme too. Can't wait for IS4 Insane Vibes. I'm looking forward to the gameplay now that people have told me it fixes a lot of the problems. I don't personally like the desert vibes. Mainly because of algorithm reclamation kind of ruined that for me. But that being said, like, if the gameplay's good, I'll play the hell out of it, dude. I was maxing out IS2 like every time the level expanded. That day I would max it because that's how much I was playing it. You can literally change the nodes on the map and the ending encounters are guaranteed and the relics are broken. That is wonderful to hear. The main fun of IS2, the reason I loved it so much, is you could just take units like Dagda and go, okay, I'm going to buff them in this weird way and they're going to be really fun. The reason I don't like IS3 is it's a lot more restrictive in who you can use, so the fact that the relics are really strong is wonderful. Kalzi's true damage, she trivializes most mechanics. Yes, sir, she does. That's part of why Franca was so amazing back in the day. She ignores 100% of defense. So you know those enemies with the sand shields, like the Rat King sand shield? She can just one-shot them. Don't need to pop the shield, she just kills them. You remember rushing Feeder S2M3 for CC Beta? Yeah, I wasn't around for that, but I heard that was very, very common. ISS 4, you can confirm they're definitely run-enders still. I'm fine with some run-enders. The problem with IS3 is that the first run-ender is one of the first, like, literally, stage 1, floor 1, can be a run-ender if you get unlucky. It requires specific teams and specific map knowledge. Stage 1, you need to deal with invisible enemies, flying enemies, rushes of 3, elite enemies, armored enemies that requires casters. Like, you just need too much too quick. Oh, IS4 is snow-themed. I might be thinking of IS5 then. Or just maybe even an event. If that's the case, I don't think I've seen IS4. I'm looking forward to it, though. I'm definitely hyped for it now. Win flip with spinach and spaghetti. Dude, spinach is so much fun, especially for units like La Pluma. Unless you get unlucky and she just doesn't. Yeah, sometimes you do just get unlucky. Franca is still amazing. I do agree, but Franca got done so dirty by Sharp. The fact that Sharp exists and shows us what Franca is supposed to be, but she isn't. Especially on the Dorothy mechs. Yeah, absolutely. Ignoring defense was so huge against those things, but I just used KB. I didn't improve their res and I used KB and she would kill them so quickly. It was so much fun. I'd max out their defense and she'd deal like 4,000 damage per hit. I love that KB's S2 is, again, one of the strongest skills in the game and all it does is increase her attack speed. Symbiosis is your least favorite map? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if IS5 isn't out, I'll be confusing it with a, probably Reclamation Algorithm number 2. Or even just a CC or something. I don't think I've seen much IS4. I thought it was sand-themed. I will be confusing it with an event. I don't really keep up with CN too much because I don't like to be spoiled. I definitely like the surprise of finding out as it comes out. Like, so I'm aware tangentially of like what operators look like and who's roughly good. Like, I know Rey's really amazing and she's a sniper, but I don't know what she does outside of that. I personally just avoid it because I try not to avoid copying other people's content. And as a result, I like just going in blind, or not fully blind. Like, case in point, I knew what the maps looked like, but I didn't know what any of the maps were or any of the mechanics for this event, and I had a blast because of it. But if I knew it ahead of time, I just wouldn't have fun. That's part of why I also don't have a CN account. I probably could get one. It'd be a bit of a pain, but if I did, it would just be a case of I wouldn't really have anything to look forward to in Arknights EN because I'd just be making content again, clearing the same content again. It's part of why I also don't really enjoy reruns, but sometimes it is fun to tackle old challenges with new operators. Like, some of my chip stages, I haven't redone them. Some of them I have, but some I haven't, just because it's so fun to see to me. Hey, this is how I used to play the game. It's so different. Things are so different now. Like, some units will just completely demolish armored enemies, whereas previously they didn't even scratch them. It was really fun. IS4 is the Sami expedition. Okay, yeah, I definitely don't know much about IS4. I'm definitely looking forward to it, so thank you for getting me hyped about it. IS3 was definitely a disappointment to me, which was a shame. I hope it's as good as IS2 was. If so, I'll have a blast. There are endings in IS4 about Sargon. I might have just seen someone run one of the endings that's a sand-themed map then. The fourth boss is desert-themed. Yeah, I might have just specifically seen that. But, like, that's how little about IS3 I know and future content. I saw one person clear that once. And that's it. More Emperor Blade and Wendigo lore. That is exciting. It can be fun to roll over rerun stages. Yeah, absolutely. Permanently available CC maps. Yeah, they definitely should. The fact that there's only one running at a time is a little pain, especially because these are really fun, though. Nowadays, you usually use IS. Oh, I love this map. The endings of IS4 get a hard version, like the mid-floor bosses in IS3. I don't like how they implemented it in IS3, where you need to be below specific lights, but that's really great. Mummy Hibiscant-chan, hello. Hello to you as well, man. You have unfortunately missed the stages. I'm just in the chatting part of the stream. But that being said, I'm a boomer. I mostly breeze through these stages. You didn't miss too much, but absolutely, I understand why people are struggling with these. Some of these are pretty nasty. Still haven't cleared Londinium outskirts. Yeah. Thankfully, it at least now pops up to let you know there is a map you haven't cleared. You used to have to go in and manually check. It was a pain. Alright, I still definitely need to do that at some stage. But yeah, like, this event, I had fun with the stages 1 through 8. I didn't have too much fun with the X, but it was a lot more fun doing it with the chat. Doing it on stream. This has definitely been a blast. The WD stage is traumatizing you as a newbie. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Arknights memoir as well. Very traumatizing for a newbie. But nothing compared to Walk in the Dust. That being said, what came immediately around Walk in the Dust... specifically, like, the Emperor's Blade was bad. The Emperor's Blade had nothing on the Rainbow Six Siege collab. Bro, that was so ridiculous. Like, it's easier now because we have so much better AoE lane holders. Like, even just something like Ling makes such a massive difference. But the guy did 12,000 true damage, screen wide, every 20 seconds. Meaning if you didn't have E2 operators, a lot of them just got one shot from full. So it was really just a newbie check. The stage mechanics for this event are nasty. Yeah, the stage mechanics for this event, I'm not a big fan of the big fellas. I think they hit too hard in the fog, but they're not too bad. The real problems are the invisible ones and the sheep. Outside of that, I think this could be a really fun event, but the sheep deal, the caster sheep, rather. The caster sheep deal absolutely insane damage, and the invisible ones are just like... They're too much of a stat check, boomer check, knowledge check. If you don't know one's coming, you just lose. Unless you can, like me, just boomer through it by having... the fact that they were regularly breaking through lines of, like, level 70 Blaze with her skill up. It's kind of ridiculous. It's called R6 Siege because they had to put her in somewhere. Siege, you're right, Siege was amazing in R6 Siege. Also, are we getting another R6S event? Yes. I don't know when, but I remember they are adding another... They're rerunning it, and they're giving us one more R6 Siege operator. So I don't think it'll be a new event, but I remember we get a 5th of the R6 Siege. Your phone couldn't handle it? Yeah, no. It unironically was infamous for crashing people's phones because it had the stupid fucking spam of enemies and also the desert sand like that was just so heavy on processing power. Yeah, 20 to 30 enemies per stage. Back in the day, one of the daily missions was, one of the weekly missions rather, was kill 2,000 enemies. Now, this stage in theory had like 20 enemies. But if you did it once, you would clear 2,000 enemies. Because the boss would just... It spawned 4 mini-enemies every tick in its phase 3, and it had 99% damage reduction that wasn't nullified by true damage. So you literally just had to wait for it to die of its own accord. You couldn't really burst it down. It's double the amount. It is well over double the amount. By stage mechanics, I mean the Steam. Yeah, I'm not a... It's definitely a bit too brutal, the Steam. Because case in point, it means it's the difference between your unit not being able to damage the enemy and being able to one-shot them. Like, it's too much of a gap. But that being said, they are just trying to get boomers like me to interact with the map mechanics. So it was fun for me, but for new players, it's incredibly frustrating. I get that. Or even just, like, not even new players, not people who don't have this many characters maxed out. You remember clearing the R6 boss with Warfarin and Saga? Yeah, that was a very, very popular meme run. I still watch that sometimes. She uses her skill so fast, she says her skill line 4 times before the first one would have ended. But that was I'm impressed someone got an auto of that working. They must have retried so many times. You finally get to suffer on OD8. Because of how many better AoE lane holders we have now, it won't be nearly as bad. It's the same reason, like, the CC1 map now is fine. Even on other CCs when it's rerun. That being said, like, you should still be able to see why people struggled with it so much, because some of the boss mechanics will still be a pain in the ass. But, like, keep in mind, as much as it will be a terrifying, infuriating boss, it is a nerfed version because of how improved AoE is. And also, modules didn't exist. Can't wait for CC with Izumik and Essence of Evolution. Yeah, you know, they also need to throw on that one IS-3 boss that is invulnerable to all damage for 9 fucking minutes. The ending 3 boss, I think it is, or ending 4. They definitely improved performance because the SSS plant boss, yes. I am very impressed at how consistently Arknights improves its performance. Like, it's optimized so that you can use it on lower end phones. And it's also a really small file size, really small updates, really quick updates. It's something a lot of modern games just don't do. They're borderline bloatware at this point, which is a bit annoying. Like, Until I got this gaming PC I'm currently using, I could not have any games installed. I just, like, couldn't. Because I had a total of 220 gigs. The operating system takes up 7. And most games will be 65 to 70 gigs, most modern games. And you need twice that to install it. So it literally, my computer would just be like, no. So I had to get an external hard drive. 30k HP, yeah. Hey, it could be worse. Those pinch-out enemies had literally 3.5 million. If Yar's enemy summoning is anything to go off, it'll be fun. I wouldn't call Yar's enemy summoning fun, if I'm remembering that enemy correctly. It was very, very frustrating. But yeah, no, like, I will say, I am, as much as they have started to do stat creep with enemies, they have done a really good job making the mechanics very engaging and distinct. Like, the fact that when enemies come back in CCs or what have you, you can immediately go, oh, that's an enemy from Walk in the Dust. I remember these maps. I remember how this played. Like, every event feels, for the most part, meaningfully different, even once you're breezing through them, which is really impressive. A lot of gacha games fail to do that. Like, even take something like FGO as an example. Everything feels the same, but to be fair, that's because there aren't really any controls. Only downside of that is they can't have cutscenes and music accessible. Yeah, it would be nice. I do love that they gave you that with IS-3 for people who cared. You can go on the Cerulean Recorder, Tome of All Memory, you can read through everything again. You can look at all of your endings. You can listen to all of the music. And you can see all of the CGs. Like, I loved that they added this in IS-2 and IS-3. 27 enemies, 270 maybe. I'm not kidding, I ran that stage twice and fulfilled that week's 2,000 enemy kill quota, and it had like 40 enemies in the map, quote unquote. So there are definitely more than just that on the boss. H12-4 is a really hard stage, I'm still mad. Dude, I hate Damasty Cluster. They definitely don't always hit. Damasty Cluster is one of the worst bosses in the entire game, in my opinion. Specifically, because you have to hold 2 up here. Because this tile here is undeployable, no, you cannot play Stall Knights without having another fucking slot taken up, because you have to have 2 separate operators there. So for most people, you had to like bust out Cholter and burst it down here. It did too much, it was too tanky. The reveal mechanic in Chapter 12, there were some stages where you needed to start revealing from the second tile from the red box, or they would leak before you can block them. So I was not a big fan of Chapter 12. I preferred Chapter 11, but even then Chapter 11 did have a few problems. That being said, like, it is hard to make fair and fun mechanics that feel distinctly different. I do understand why they're struggling. But in my opinion, Damasty Cluster specifically as a boss is the worst boss they've ever done in terms of game balance. And one of these maps, not that one. Let me see if I can remember which map it is specifically that if you don't reveal them within like 2 tiles, you just lose. I think it might have been one of the hard maps. Yeah, this one. So enemies coming out of this red box, if you hadn't started revealing them by this tile, they will leak before you get revealed. Like, what the hell is that? A big part of memorability is great story, yeah. Arknights' lore and story is amazing. That being said, the storytelling isn't. There's definitely some bloat, unfortunately. But the actual story itself is really, really fascinating. They just don't... It doesn't really lend itself well to a super bloated visual novel style medium, where, like, for example, it would take probably 8 hours to read Chapter 10's story for a lot of people. I'm a fast reader, I could probably do it in 2 or 3. But that's just too much for a lot of people. And if you condense that into, like, a tight 30 minutes... that would be a really amazing story, because the story they're telling is really fantastic. It's just maybe not necessarily, at least for me, not really the best medium to tell it through. Cleared everything except Adverse 1220, Hate Damasty Cluster. Very relatable. It's an H4 stage, they're optional, yeah. I do get that, but that being said, like... It's just a case of I do genuinely think the Damasty Cluster was bad boss design. It does too much. It has too much HP. It's too tanky. It attacks too much. It can make one of your operators permanently deployable. It does AoE burst. That makes you, like... It requires too much of the player, too much micromanagement, to the point where it's super restrictive on how you can beat it. Most other bosses, it's a case of, it doesn't matter, 2+2, 3+1, however you get to 4, they die. With Damasty Cluster, no, you need to do 2+2. The execution and presentation is not... Yeah. The story's really great. The execution and presentation is a little bit off. Best story, we got Hot Dog Law. They need to tighten up their localization lately too. There have been a lot of typos and grammars. That being said, for what it's worth, oh yeah, it won't be permanent yet. The Texas Alter story was one of the tightest they've had. It didn't necessarily have a very good hook immediately, but there was a lot less bloat than usual. Say what you will. So, like, I still think the Rainbow Six story is probably the best they've ever done total. But Texas Alter, say what you will, it was also very, very tight. The reader feels very outdated, absolutely. Especially like in some of the tutorial stages where if you try to skip through dialogue, it'll just, instead of finishing scrolling, it'll completely skip it, but not always, so it's not always consistent. The only people you've seen enjoying H12 for were Sniper Knights players. Yeah, that is a fun challenge for Sniper Knights because they really excel against heavy enemies. And they have really massive ranges. But that being said, most Sniper Knight players still didn't enjoy it. They had a great opportunity to improve the story presentation with the anime, but the season... Yeah, I do kind of agree with that. Like, case in point, I love Arknights lore. I still haven't seen the anime. I saw one episode of episode 1. It's not an awful adaptation. It's definitely suffering a bit from... The first few chapters were a bit weak. Like, the setup was a bit weird, especially chapter 0. The later chapters, like chapter 7 and 8 were phenomenal, especially in the context of the game. They did a fantastic job there. Like, when you first encounter Patriot, a lot of new players won't get to experience just how terrifying it is having this guy just walk at you really slowly, and you just can't do anything about it. And they did capture it. I don't know if people have seen it. Most people probably have the end like this animation. That was really great. I mean, I probably could watch it on stream if people want to, but no stress either way on that. I love the song, and I love the animation. Do you have the in-game music turned off? Yes, I do, because I forget to turn it off when I'm recording, and then I mess it up. But that being said, I do vibe. I do quite like this event's OST. Waiting for Syracuse 2 with Alberto and Demetri? Yeah, absolutely fair. Patriot stats have changed? Yes, that's because I was looking at the hard stage. Most bosses have 2 versions, and they get... Like, case in point, even Dolly was noticeably tankier on CM, because they just got a little bit of a stat buff in defense. His stats should be much, much higher here. So it makes sense the anime would be dull. Yeah. It is, unfortunately, a case of... I think they did a really good adaptation of the chapter 0 through 3, or whatever it was, story into season 1. I just think the story itself they were adapting wasn't that interesting. They really did need to kind of rewrite it, but people would have been annoyed. Like, they did probably the best they could. And the animation was better than I expected it to be. I just don't watch too many anime. I think the last anime I've watched fully is Eminence in Shadow because I'm an edge. Yes, there was talk about a Dark Knight's memoir anime. If so, I'll definitely give that one a try. Because that was at least a very fun story. And people love W for a reason. She was a great character. There's also a... Yeah, I've seen The Last March of the Patriot. Don't you worry. If people want, though, I could do a bit of a watching Arknights content I really love, like music and what have you. No pressure, though. I'd probably have to stick to official Arknights stuff, though. Probably not things like The Last March of the Patriot, because YouTube would copyright strike me. Understandably so. It is their... Like, especially in animation, you put so much... Oh, right. Sorry. Getting distracted. In case other people haven't seen this... Let me actually grab this so I can recommend it to you. This animation is from Bilibili. It got taken down. This used to have like 10 million views. The re-upload does not have nearly as much. That being said, I will still recommend the re-upload to you. I'm a massive W simp. So I would massively recommend you give this a listen. I also just really love the song, so I'm definitely biased. React Andy stream Keck W. AK karaoke stream. I could do that. I just don't think my... Like, I do know how to sing, just my voice doesn't really fit many of the Arknights songs. As you could probably tell by my talking voice, I have a very deep bass. I'm what's called a basso profundo, which is literally the deepest type of voice you can have. So most Arknight songs, most songs in general, they're written for more tenors, which is more what you'd expect a sort of average Andy to sound like. Most songs, they literally aren't built for my voice. I'm not a phenomenal singer, but I'm a competent singer. I'm good enough to tell that I won't sound good in most Arknight songs. second singer of the anime, second season of the anime is better, I would definitely believe that. Because again, like, they did a really good adaptation, it's just what they were adapting was bad. And the later chapters definitely started improving in quality. So I really wouldn't be surprised. I am going to go through and watch the Arknights anime eventually. It's just a case of, I already know the story, and it's not a very good story in season 1, so it's hard to force myself to sit through. The first few chapters aren't good outside of forced, hard agree. I also like W. They do establish W very well very early on, and they do also let you know just how terrifying Patriot and Tallulah are, which play in really, really well once you get to Chapter 7 and 8. Chapter 7 and 8 were phenomenal. Tallulah and Patriot are fantastic villains because of just how terrifying and imposing they feel. Likewise, I mean, while I've got YouTube open and recommending people, even if I'm not a React Andy, I can also recommend another one. And like this, Arknights. This is a little jank. It's a little 3D. Oops, sorry. That's the wrong one. The 3D is a bit jank, but they do kind of capture the Patriot fight relatively well. And keep in mind, lore-wise, Patriot is actually fighting about 80 casters. Oh no, I think it's more like 20. So it's not just Amiya and Rosmontis attacking him, there's also 20 other casters flinging spells at him when he does this. Have you ever thought of dual streaming to YouTube and Twitch? I'm planning to. I just don't know how yet. I definitely am hoping to. Just because, again, it would be nice for people to be able to... Like, I understand discoverability for specifically Arknights content is pretty low on YouTube when it comes to live streams, and that'd be easier for people on Twitch. That being said, I'm not too familiar with Twitch, but like I'm absolutely intending to, because I do understand for a lot of people that'd be much nicer. But yeah, I need to figure out how to do that. It's in my plans, I just don't know how yet. S2 is indeed better, not just because of... Yeah. Oh, you find the generic Yeti Squadron members hard? What, not Frost Nova? A lot of people simp about her. Lee's Detective Agency was cool. I do agree, I just don't like any of the characters except for Lee. It was really, really cool, I just don't like them. So, despite it being really well told, really fun, I just couldn't really get into it. The KB animation was very cute. I haven't seen that. If you can, please do grab a link. I'd love to watch that after stream. Made you want Popular altar. I really hope they give all of the 3 stars altars. I love the lore of the 3 stars growing up. Like, Lava into Purgatory, Hibiscus into Purifier, Cruce into... People already sexualized Cruce. And then Cruce Kling Glint, well, anyone who's been in the fandom has seen a lot of sexy art of her. And she's also a great unit, but she's also just really, really fun. Where is she? Why can't I find her? There we are. Yeah, like, her skin. But no, like, even putting aside that, it's really nice seeing them grow up and seeing them develop. And I love that all of their kits tie into their previous kits, but are just meaningfully different. Like, you can see they've grown up. It's really fantastic. Though obviously, they probably won't be able to give Fang an altar. Because rip in pieces, rest in spaghetti. Chapter 13, from what you've seen, feels similar to Patriot and Tallulah. I really hope that's the case, because Patriot and Tallulah, it's really hard, like... I think new players will still get it with Tallulah. New players won't really get it with Patriot, though, because now there's so many ops that can kind of trivialize him. He is so terrifying. When you first encounter him, like, he walks so slowly, but he's just such a stat stick. You can't do anything to him. He was so intimidating lore-wise, and then all, like, his final cutscene essentially just being like, everyone else stay back, this is personal for me, I'm not going to lead you into your deaths, I'm just going to do this myself. And then everyone present is trying to stop him, and they only do because he lets you. And like this animation I linked sums it up very well, where he had a chance to kill Amiya. Like, fully, no one could have stopped her, his hand was around her head, and then he ended up thinking of Frost Nova and decided to spare her. But Patriot was a phenomenal villain. Stuart and Adnachiel's skin is them growing up. Yeah, I do definitely get that. But it is a little bit different. Like, if I don't think... Yeah, Hibiscus does have a skin, and she looks a bit older in it, but that's nothing compared to Purifier. Casually one-shots most ops? Yeah, absolutely. Even today, Patriot will one-shot most people. Was Fang the one who died, or was it Beagle? Beagle, we know, at least lived to the... I mean, both of it's implied. Neither of them could have died. But it's implied Fang is hunted down and killed by Sweep, which is what Red and Scavenger are part of. And it's implied Beagle died in the Colombian Civil War and ended up like being killed by Doberman, I believe, or someone from Rhodes Island because she ended up standing directly opposed to them. Steam Knight is Patriot 2.0. Yeah, but he doesn't have the same level of cool factor. He's cool in a different way, not cool in a terrifying way. Amiya facing him down makes sense. Yeah, she was the only source of true damage in the time. And it was unironically recommended, like Amiya, level Amiya so that you can fight Patriot. Patriot is hot. To each their own. He definitely does give off hot vibes. So, like, I can get that. I just don't think he's physically hot. That being said, I'm asexual, so I'm biased. And look, I can't talk too much because I think Talala's pretty hot. I don't mean that in a meme, literally heated way. I just, like... Part of being asexual is it's just more about the color scheme and the general vibe of the clothing, and I love her outfit, and I love her color scheme. Also, if you haven't seen it, this is just gonna be me... I mean, we could do a React Andy stream for a little bit if you want. We could watch some of these on stream if people want. But that being said, I'm still just gonna link it for now. The Survive official music video, another fantastic one. Steam Knight can be stored by Noir Corn. You're right, absolutely god tier. Having an excuse to use Noir Corn makes the boss god tier. He has a graphics card in his chest. Yes, sir, he does. Dad vibe, yeah. Steam Knight's design is pretty hot. Yeah, especially like he's got the dapper Victorian gentleman. Steam Knight, like, I do really like Steam Knight. It just doesn't hit quite like Patriot did for me. That being said, like, he was still a... Oh, no, that's Manfred. He was still a very fun boss. They did Dagda so dirty in Chapter 11, man. It makes me feel so upset. All of these enemies are too tanky for Dagda to damage. And her own, like, that's the case for the entire stage. And she only gets a ridiculously strong talent in this. Steam Knight doesn't have horns downgrade. Yeah, fair enough. Can you link fantastic sentenced animatics? Yeah, you can absolutely. And even if this stream stops, like, by all means join the Discord and drop these. I love Arknights, man. I've been playing it for 4 years. I'm absolutely down to watch things. I just won't watch people's animations on stream because that would be... I'm fine with doing it for official Arknights products because that's still borderline promotion. That's showing it to people. And I'm not making any money off this because I'm not monetized on YouTube yet. But I'd feel a bit scummy yoinking, like, individuals' animations. Because then that's a bit less promotion and a bit more just, oh, your content's really cool. I'm going to make my content into this. Give absolutely busted damage trait and no stages to use it. Yeah, dude. Dagda, her regen is insane. She regens like her entire HP every 2 punches with her S2. But it scales off of how much damage is dealt, and everyone in Chapter 11 has ridiculous HP and defense. So she just can't even scratch them. Why'd they give Dagda Dola? Yeah, I addressed that in my Dagda guide. That also really annoyed me. So you get Dagda from, what is it, stage 16? Yeah, stage 16 or 15. One of these two. Great. Yeah, I think it was 15. So you have 3 stages to use her. One of which is the boss stage, which features mostly enemies she literally cannot damage, even assuming you used, like, leveled her immediately. This stage features mostly enemies she cannot damage. This stage features mostly enemies she cannot damage. Oh wait, which is... And yeah, and then stage 11, this is a fixed roster, so you can't even use her. That being said, I did love the CG of Calcit getting injured here. That was a really well drawn CG. Massive fan of it. The Steam Knight's codename is Lynn. Yeah, I love all of the details and things like that. It usually goes unnoticed, but it's great. Dagda has a talent. Dagda has an amazing talent. I'm not going to run this stage, I'll just show it to you. So, her second talent, Knight's Honor. HP plus 20%, that does unironically help. That's the difference between her surviving and not surviving certain attacks. And every damage restores 20% of... every hit she deals restores 20% of the damage it deals. When you take into account, her S2 is absolutely insane. Especially because her first talent is... Her first talent ramps her attack up to 240%. That's why outside of Mountain, like, she's an actually usable brawler. She has basically permanently 1400 attack. She gets a buff to that and hits twice. And also crits every attack. Sorry, she doesn't... She has a permanent 900 attack, but can crit for about 3000 damage. This makes her deal more than 3000 per hit twice, activation rank up. So she will heal basically her entire HP pretty much every time she hits something. It's ridiculous. And this is also really good damage. I'm a massive Dagda fan. That's why I'm very keen she gets a module. She doesn't actually need much. I really hope she gets this outside of Chapter 11. But even if she doesn't, even just like a few extra raw stats will make Dagda incredibly usable. That being said, like, she's still a mid-tier operator, but she's a strong enough 5-star that you can use her even in relatively endgame content. Easier versions of the stages, they redid them on harder difficulty after getting Dagda. Yeah, even with that though, like, you've cleared most of the content before you get Dagda. It's really disappointing. Like, I leveled her right away because I like Dagda. AK leaked brawler modules? Yeah. I'm very, very keen. Mainly for Dagda and Indra. Indra, all they need to do, unironically, is just decrease her SP costs. Indra's skills are amazing, but she suffers from what a lot of launch operators suffer from, which is just like, what are these SP costs? 30% uptime on her S2, 20% uptime on her S1. That's terrible. Like, the skills themselves are really, really strong. It's just the uptime is so bad. They should do that for all the stage-specific ops. I definitely hope so. And I think they have done it... I mean, they set the precedent by Gladia's ridiculous module. I still cannot believe they did this. Gladia's module means instead of taking reduced damage from seaborne enemies, all Abyssal Hunters just take 30% reduced damage. It's so ridiculously strong. Just flat 30% reduced damage. It's insane. Zhong Yue module? Yeah, I am excited for that. Even though I personally don't like the 6-star brawlers as much, but that's just because I really like Dagda and Indra. Like, it's nothing against them. Like, yeah, I haven't leveled them, but that's just because they're very, very strong, and I do like them both as characters. I just haven't leveled them yet. Year 1 SP syndrome? Yeah, absolutely. It was I mean, it's also Skyfire. Skyfire's S2 was originally going to be permanent, but then they're like, oh, that's too strong. But now, as a result, it's bad because it was balanced around being permanent. Ulpianus being a crusher wouldn't be that awful. No, like, unironically, if Ulpianus is a crusher, he will have, like, an unbuffed 6,000 base attack. Like, if you take into account his kit and the buffs he gets from the Abyssal Hunters, he will just demolish everything. Because they already have ridiculously high stats. He would get an extra... So, Quartz is a 4-star, so let's add about 20% extra stats. He would get an extra 40% bonus. He'd have close to 10,000 unbuffed HP. He'd take 30% less damage. He has 40% extra attack, deals 10% extra damage, and has an extra free 20 attack speed. And then whatever buff he gives the others, he also gets. Sniper Executor is the main victim. Yeah, I hard agree. Sniper Executor is another fantastic example. His skill is really, really strong, but like 70 SP recovery, 20 uptime, it's so ridiculously low. If it was better, like, he is really usable, because when his skill is active, he just kind of kills everything. It's insane. Sorry for the pause there, it's just getting a bit dark, so flicked on the light. He'd also be able to take AC buff without exploding. Ulpian? Yeah, absolutely. If you're talking Executor, no. The Quartz image you posted in the server, I haven't seen it yet. I don't have Discord open when I'm streaming, because otherwise I'll get distracted. Same way I don't check my stats. Just because, again, I'll get distracted, but I definitely check all of that after. Like, case in point, I'm pretty sure yesterday, as soon as I ended stream, I started adding memes to the Discord server and replying to people before I'd even made the thumbnail for today's. Ulpian is going to be a good chain medic. Look, I think everyone's going to be disappointed if Ulpian isn't a 6-star Reaper, because he literally carries around a scythe. That being said, I am really impressed that La Pluma is still directly better in some ways than Executor. But obviously Executor is better in a lot of ways. More ways than La Pluma. But like, part of what I really liked about the Executors pre-Texas was... yeah, pre-Texas and Yato as well. All of them had distinct use cases. So all 5. Gravel was by far the tankiest. But it was also a case of, like, they all slightly overlapped with each other's use case, so you weren't heavily penalized for only having, or for missing one. But they all had really, really strong use cases, and they filled specific niches, and it was really, really fun. Waifu had the weakest use case, but that's fine, because her name is Waifu. I hate it. When Silence Alter came out, someone mentioned using her to cheat death buff to stop Ak dying. That could be interesting. I'll check out that interaction. I'll use my Arknights team. I don't actually have Ak, though, so I'm not sure how I'd do that. I don't have silence. Actually, yeah, I can't do that. Oh, yeah. Okay. I could theoretically do that. And I'll just chuck my Akasa stand-in. Yeah, no, cheers. I am... Every day I think, oh, today's the day I break the streak of daily shitposts. I've run out of ideas. Somehow, so far, I'm still going. Speaking of thumbnails, it's the same one as the medic tier list? Really? Ah, that's a shame. On my screen, it shows up as something different. Thank you for letting me know, though. That's a massive shame. Let me see if I can change that. I made a special thumbnail for it, and it looked all good on my end. Let me see. Live. Will it show in my live category? Yeah, no, on my end, it looks different. Sorry, let me drag this into screen so you can see it. So on my end, it's this little clearing the whole event Poncerus thing. I have no idea what YouTube's doing. Like, it looks fine for me. Have you played any other gacha games? Yes, I currently play Genshin. Mainly for the exploration. That's the only part I really enjoy. It's just like Breath of the Wild with updates. I find that part really relaxing and fun. I just 100% the zones and don't really worry about anything else. I play Honkai sometimes, Honkai Star Rail specifically. I used to play FGO a lot, same as Fire Emblem Heroes a lot. I don't play either of them anymore. I've also played, if you ever heard of it, Brown Dust, a game that has lots of premier thighs, but I've since stopped playing. And I played Alchemy Stars for a bit. I've played a bunch more briefly, but like those were the ones I enjoyed for a decent chunk of time. I also played Blue Archive for a while, but the writing didn't really resonate with me because all of the characters I liked happened to have really bad writing in their story missions. And it was also a bit sus that all of them were underage. Ulpian is going to be a loop shooter. Waifu attack debuff is underrated. It's pretty strong. It's like, she still has a strong niche. It's just less general use than the others. It might just be for you, huh? Oh, YouTube has a bug? That's annoying. This wasn't like a god tier thumbnail, but I did like mostly covering up Aya just to have Poncerus, because Cult of Poncerus. I found that very funny. Oh, it's not letting me drag that back. That's a nuisance. Wait. Why are you not letting me take it back to the other monitor? Oh, it changed sides? What the hell is this? There we go, okay. It's Poncerus on your part. Okay, good. So it's not everyone having it. That's something at least. Because I don't like that it's showing the wrong thumbnail, because that is misleading people. But nothing I can really do about that, unfortunately. Did I like Fontaine's story? Yes, with caveats. Part 3 was really bad. Not because it was like super poorly written, though the fact that they were like, oh, we're too cool to use Mora, we've got our own special currency. It's way cooler. Only idiots use Mora. That was a bit cringe. That had bad fanfic energies. The main problems I had with Fontaine's Story Part 3 was that it was literally just, okay, ignore that whole thing you've been introduced to, we're going to focus on this prison. And I think that was a bit of wasted opportunity, because they could have made the prison story more interesting and tied better into the narrative world. Parts 4 and 5 were really, really amazing, though. Parts 1 and 2 were also very strong. I didn't like the very ending of Part 5, and I'll avoid spoilers for people who haven't read it yet, but essentially, there is a character who the plot kind of forgets about right at the end. And that character happened to be my favorite character. And when you're going around doing the standard talking to everyone right at the end of the Archon quest, you don't get to talk to that character and no one mentions that character. But they just had some very important things in their life happen, and I wanted to know how they were doing. But the next time we see them, it's months later, and they're fine now. And I'm a big fan of angst. So unfortunately, like, I get it would have slightly not fit with the game's vibes, but I was slightly disappointed by that. But that being said, like, Fontaine, I read the entirety of Fontaine. It was really a good story. I didn't really enjoy the rest of the stories. Even Sumeru, a lot of people liked Sumeru. I found it a little boring. I really did like Fontaine. Oh, the Thigh Archer? Yeah. If you've never seen Brown Dust, let me actually, I mean, they've changed the name now to like Brave 9 or something. Let me pull up just... This won't be TOS. Okay, yeah, this won't be TOS. It's just going to be the advertisement. Let me see if I can just show some characters. It's hard to find details about this because it's a very small Korean thing. Oh, where's a good one to show it off? Honestly, look, if Azure Lane is fine on YouTube, this will be too. Okay. So yeah, this will do. So this is just a generic NPC. It's important to the story, but nothing else. As you can see, that is some premier thigh content. Most other characters are also like this. It is very much a thigh gacha, so it aligns with my interests, even if the face art style is a little bit weird. You remember using waifu to trigger the elemental screaming flowers? Yeah, that's absolutely fair. She's great for that. And you're absolutely right. Fast redeploy, 8 AoE. Did you like Riothsley? I didn't in part 3 because I didn't like part 3 as a whole, but I really did like his cutscene with Clorinde later. That genuinely got my heart pumping for a few seconds, which hasn't happened in Genshin ever. That was a really great animated cutscene. They did such an amazing job on that. I've rewatched it a few times since just because the actual animation is really excellent as well. Like how it's shot, the cinematography, really fantastic. And he's massively grown on me, and he's got a very funny kit. That being said, I didn't pull for him, and I probably won't. Just because I don't really enjoy playing him, and I don't like him that much, but I like him a lot. He's one of my favorite Fontaine characters, though part of that is everyone else kind of dropped down a few rankings because of how Part 5 ended. But that's just a personal thing. Prison arc was trash. We should have gotten more Riothsley screen time. Yeah, exactly. Like, it was just a case of... The prison just kind of happened, and it was like, okay, forget everything else. We're just... Look at how cool this prison is, you guys. But it wasn't even about the prison warden, who's a hot guy. Respect the devs for knowing their thigh-loving community. Absolutely. I don't play that game anymore because the gameplay kind of shit. But man, the thighs are exquisite. You're conflicted on Genshin. You stop caring about the game daily. Yeah, I do get that. For me, like, whenever I'm entering Genshin story, it's kind of a wall of I won't really have fun. So I just mostly auto it. But I really, really like the exploration. And for what it's worth, the story has improved a lot, at least the main story. The event stories are still kind of shit. You lost your 50-50 on Riothsley. You'll get him eventually, don't worry. You get a surprising amount of pulls just by playing the game regularly and exploring. Like, it's kind of shocking how quick they build up, because I often just won't pull. I don't really care about most characters, I just like exploring. That being said, I'm very keen for Arlecchino. White hair, black hair as well, red eyes, sadistic, nice thighs. Literally just a checklist of all of my interests. Did I see the trial circulation? No, I don't know what that is, unfortunately. Yeah, no, I'll try not to talk too much about Genshin, because obviously not everyone here plays it, but that's the main other gacha I play. I did also used to play Azur Lane for a while as well, and part of that was also the thighs. They have some very nice thighs in Azur Lane. But that being said, I'm an asexual, so eventually the lack of gameplay kind of caught up to me. This was really, really fun. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about today, though. I think I might call it here. Thank you all so much for swinging by, though. If you want to keep chatting, I'll be in the Discord for a little bit, but then I do kind of need to go to bed. Today's a public holiday. Tomorrow's a public holiday, though, so I'm very, very keen to... I'll probably do drawing. I probably won't stream just for the sake of my voice. Al Pacino is your favorite Genshin character. Yeah, that's a fair way of describing him. Arknights need more male thighs. Look, say what you will. Arknights has a lot of really good male thighs. Like, a lot of them aren't directly exposed to the same level as the women, but, like... I think it's just a case of they don't have too many male operators, but, like... Enforcer, for example, he doesn't have amazing thighs, but he's gorgeous. Mr. Nothing, I think he's got some thigh showing. Yeah. Or, no, that's not really thigh, that's upper torso. But yeah, I will call this there. Thank you all so much for swinging by. This was really fun. Hope you all have a fantastic day, and if you're interested, I will be doing the Defender drip ranking on Saturday. So 2 days from now, roughly... a little bit shy of 6 hours before now in 2 days. So, if you do know Australian Eastern Standard Time, it will be 3 p.m. That being said, it is in the Discord in my schedule, and if you want to join the Discord to get pinged when I go live, it is absolutely there if you want it. Enforcer has one in his skin, he very well might. Mr. Nothing has his feet out, yep. Night, everyone. Thank you all so much for coming by. This was really fun. I hope you all have a fantastic day. And I will catch you either in the Discord Saturday or whenever you next stop by. Have a great evening.